Hackers are getting more and more sophisticated each and every year. And if you're not careful, they're going to give you a miserable time on the internet. Are you doing everything you can to protect yourself online? NordVPN software allows me to safely browse the internet without being traced. NordVPN is now more than just a VPN provider. They have introduced threat protection, giving you even more comprehensive security against cyber threats. It blocks trackers, it stops malicious ads, and it steers you away from harmful websites and files. Enjoy a safer and more private internet. NordVPN will continue to hide your location, encrypt your data, and one account you sign up for can secure 6 devices. You can sign up to NordVPN now risk-free on a 2-year plan plus 4 months free. Just go to nordvpn.com/football terrace and give yourself real peace of mind when online. What we can even do is give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. So get yourself signed up now and enjoy the rest of the NordVPN Top 6 show. Welcome back to the NordVPN Top 6 show. It's Friday night. It's going to be a massive weekend. It's going to be absolutely huge. Chelsea host Arsenal. Tottenham host Liverpool. Man United versus Villa as well. There's going to be many chops and changes. There's going to be many trials and tribulations. And the Top 6 show is here to preview it all for you. Make sure the like button is being smashed. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. Get that done, my people. I hope you're all well. We've got a brilliant panel for you tonight. Over on my right, we're joined by JJ and Colleen. Good evening to the two of you. You good?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm looking forward to the weekend.
I bet. And on my left-hand side, we are joined by Kaz tonight, but also making his debut on the show tonight is Craigo. How are you both doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm all right. I just sports that club, innit? And that's going to get battered on the weekend. So we go a bit further in.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
I like it. So look, viewers, we will obviously throughout the course of the show, we're going to put polls up for you to vote for the next talking points as we always do. But please get the NordVPN program downloaded and put onto your devices, not just your mobile phones, but your desktop, smart TVs, and much, much more. Protect yourself against hackers, protect yourself against your data being harvested, and from big businesses and big tech companies from being able to take your information and essentially sell it on to the highest bidder. It's very, very important you do that. And there are some great discounts that you can get through using it. And we spoke for weeks about getting streaming services cheaper, football cheaper, and more. But equally, you can get products cheaper. And I want to show you something, right? I want to show you this. There's my box, right? So we use these pod mics. We use these pod mics right here, right now, as you can see. If you buy these from Amazon.co.uk, they're $99.99 brand new, £100. I needed some more. So what I did is I used my VPN and I said that I was in India. I don't know why I picked India. I just did. Same mics, same time of delivery, $79.99. £20 savings on each of those mics. So use it on Amazon. Huge savings can be made. No issues with payments whatsoever. Very, very simple. I need 5 new ones. That's £100 I've saved. So happy day. So there's lots of savings that could be done with it as well. Get it downloaded. And that's it. And I think I was just saying it and that. Just get it done now, people. We'd also like to know where you're watching from this evening. And no Spurs fans, someone said here. Let's speak on this.
Wait. We have got a Spurs fan.
Oh,
God. Here we go.
Oh, my God. You guys need to get a new joke for the season. It's a fresh start.
You can never, ever see me wearing that thing over there on his chest.
Oh, is it? It's looking crisper than your one, but it's all right.
All right. We got, just like you, got history and everything. But see that shirt. Look, this shirt's way better than yours, mate. I'm not being. I'm not. JJ, come on.
I don't know.
If it was crisp,
maybe.
You can't.
If you had pressed it a bit, maybe I'd give it.
Fairness, JJ, you're hiding yours. Like,
yeah.
you're hiding yours, bro.
Let's see it with chest. Here we go.
Exactly.
Colleen, calm down. Calm down.
Oh my God. We all know I only have eyes for Unai Emery.
This is true.
This is a
by
fact.
the way, you might be watching right now, but I cut my farts. You know, the guy who comments about.
Oh, right.
He DM'd me. I now know what he really looks like.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, is this a thing or is this not a thing?
He's a good guy.
Good guy?
Pretty good looking. Hi, you're watching. He's pretty good looking. So maybe we'll do a little hookup.
Maybe
TFT date night.
let's see if he puts some more super chats in. We'll
Yeah,
see.
that's
We'll
a great
see.
yes.
Well,
I
it's not
like
going to
that.
come cheap, darling, unfortunately.
It doesn't come cheap. First talking point of the night, and it's going to be a big one to start with. Tottenham hosting Liverpool at White Hart Lane, or whatever it is they're calling their stadium at the moment. I know it's still officially unnamed, but White Hart Lane. How you feeling, JJ?
In a season, and do you know what it is? In a season where the extraordinary can happen, right? Especially in regards to Liverpool. I'm confident. Reason being is because we play rubbish. We're trash against all the little teams. But we somehow turn up against Ajax. We turn up against City.
Didn't turn up against
Wait,
Napoli
yeah.
in the first leg.
Didn't
though,
turn up
did you?
against Man United, did you, mate?
I don't know.
I had that one.
Yeah,
We
when
only lost one game.
when it didn't matter.
Huh?
When it didn't matter.
Well, it didn't matter, but you got to play what's in front of you, right?
Yeah, it
So
didn't matter still.
Yet we still did it. We beat City,
Wait.
which are, do you know what I mean?
Did you win the group?
Trump's on favourites. No, we came second. Yeah, we came second.
yeah, right.
Did you guys win your group?
Yeah, we did actually. Yeah.
Against a poor AC Milan side, where
Who cares? We beat what,
Yeah, who cares,
we
right?
beat what
When it
was in
didn't
front
matter.
of us.
When it didn't matter, exactly.
Oh,
No, but,
we beat what was in front of us.
Exactly.
I think you'll find we started the group after the first two games with only a point,
Yeah.
and then we turned it
Which
round.
really suggests to us that your group really wasn't that good.
Yeah, we still lost the first two games,
Yeah,
and look what
which it
happens
really
now.
wasn't that good, which suggests the quality of your group wasn't really up to standard.
So aren't Rangers statistically the worst team ever in the Champions League?
And we beat them twice.
Yeah. So
So
your
what's your
group,
point?
so you're actively admitting that your group was shit.
No, I'm acting.
You're actively admitting that your group is shit.
No. Did you speak about the team or the group?
Nah,
Because maybe you've lost your translation in
No, to
language.
be fair, because I mean, you had an Ajax team who are no one's really even fancying to win the Europa League, let alone the Champions League. So they were out before they even started.
Well, they weren't out before they
Of
really
course they
started.
were.
No, well, yeah, and everyone said the
Even
same
then,
thing
you
about
went
Porto.
behind against them as well.
Huh?
Even then, you went behind against them as
Yeah,
well.
and it's been an extraordinary season.
Do you remember
Liverpool.
Sebastian Haller,
Nonetheless-
their
nonetheless-
main man that they
nonetheless,
lost?
It's interesting that in the topic where we're talking about Spurs and Liverpool, Chelsea needs some validation of sorts.
Oh, I don't care. I'm just here for a laugh, mate.
If you want to be part of that team, you can do. Just
I don't
change your
care.
top, change it to a white top.
Wait, why do you need a
Why?
bit of validation?
Huh?
What validation for what?
Validation.
For
For what?
Oh, we're talking about two like. Do you know what I mean teams going for it right now? Obviously, Chelsea
Yeah, but you
are playing-
turned around and brought
are playing-
Chelsea into it.
Huh?
You brought Chelsea
No, I
into
didn't.
it.
You did.
Yeah, you did.
You brought
tu-
yourself into
No,
it.
you turned around and said that. Did you? I said, did you win your group? And then you turned around and said, did I?
Yeah.
And I said, I answered the question. Now we're
Exactly,
still
but
talking about Chelsea. Whose fault's
On a
that?
segment where we're talking about Liverpool and Spurs, you're obviously.
And I
involving
was
yourself
talking
as a
about. I was
Chelsea fan.
talking about
So I'm
Liverpool.
saying, do you
I
wanna
was
get
talking
onto-
about Liverpool, though,
Do you
wasn't
wanna
I?
get- so do you
But I
wanna
was
get onto
talking about Liverpool.
But one second, do you want to get onto Liverpool and Spurs? Or do you want to talk about
It
Chelsea?
depends, it depends if you want to, because this could go very badly for you. It depends. We'll have to see what happens.
Our season's been really bad. So what do you mean by badly? How bad could it
wait,
get?
So I have to just say, you said it earlier a second ago, Terry, that have Spurs only beaten Liverpool once in 10 years?
One-
was that?
Yeah, once.
Once in 10
4-1.
years, 4-1.
So realistically, this could be an absolute like groundbreaking sort of accomplishment for Spurs.
Oh,
that they
100% it
could beat you
100%.
for the second time in 10
and
years,
listen,
whatever it
considering
is.
how Liverpool have been this season, if you let me get onto my point, it's an extraordinary season.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the game. We're probably going to go and beat Spurs. We'll lose to Southampton in the next week.
Yeah, it's very
Nonetheless,
possible, yeah.
we could actually lose against Spurs, and it could. Do you know what I mean the narrative of the game, the narrative of the season could continue?
But
That's the fantastic thing about Liverpool right now is that you don't know what you're going to get.
I don't get what you mean though. Yeah, you said you beat all the big teams. You didn't beat us, by the way. And you said
I'm glad you mentioned
At
it.
the time, let's be honest, we done the preview, Kaz, and you guys were underdogs. You were taking a point. So wait. You were taking a point in that game, right? Wait. Before you speak, you were taking a point in that game.
I wasn't.
Yes, you did.
Terry did not say we were going to win. Terry did not say we were going to win 2-1.
No, you went and said, I'll take a point. And then at the end, you actually went and turned around and said, you know what? I'm a United fan. So just for the fact, I'm going to say
Run the
2-1
clips
win.
right now.
Run the clips.
I'm going to say this very quickly.
Kaz, are you sure? Because I've done my research.
You know what's funny? Yeah, let me
Jen,
just
Jen,
Are
very
you sure?
quickly. I've got to take back control of this show right now. The most explosive start to a show ever. What you fucking done, Craigo? Yeah, you turned up and it's gone to pop. No, it's great. But I want to speak about the game for a moment. The game for a minute. We'll come back to this. Great conversation. They've only beat you once in 10 years.
Mhm.
Both of you are in kind of interesting form. but they're dominant at home. Generally at home at the new, people have informed me it's called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'm just going to call it White Hart Lane for now. But their home form has been brilliant. Do you have any worries or concerns about how good they've been at home, or do those injuries to those attackers? Is that what's really filling you with confidence?
Do you know what it is? Considering how Conte now Spurs play.
Still want to talk about Chelsea.
With this block nonsense. Exactly. I mean, when you
still want to talk about Chelsea.
When you involve yourself, that's why.
Go on.
But considering obviously how Spurs play with Conte, it doesn't really suit Liverpool. That low block is going to obviously really, really affect us because we play better when there's spacing behind. Like we've seen it against.
Can't play like United, can you?
Pardon?
What?
We can't play like United.
Oh no, I said you can't play like United, can you?
I don't want to play
because they play super low block against us, but we carved them.
I don't want to play like United.
You talk about just on the Liverpool. You say you beat all the big teams, but I'm not being funny. Spurs not a big team; it's a small team, so technically you would struggle.
Well, they're not. They're top 4 team, top 6 team.
All that changed, didn't it? All that changed.
And the top 6. So
I forgot you got replaced by Newcastle now.
Replaced already?
Yeah.
Tooting your horn, isn't it? Came second, and then where did you end up?
Hey, we're talking about this season.
Yeah, this is
cool. We'll get back to the banter in a minute. Let's chat about the game for a second now, guys. Just the viewers are like, let's talk about the game. So the viewers, it's your show, so we're going to get back to the game for a minute. So yeah, the low block's going to be hard.
The low block's hard. So Liverpool obviously struggle to go and break down these low blocks. I think it will be a tougher game than some Liverpool fans would like to go and say, considering they're going to be, on their high horses thinking, yeah, you know what, we're going to go and win this game. Nonetheless, the record really, as Craig said, it just suggests that they're not really going to be able to do anything. And Liverpool do turn up when it's Spurs historically. But you just never know with this season, unfortunately.
I know we don't have a Spurs fan here to fight their corner. Anybody in this room fancy Spurs to win?
Khalid?
I don't fancy Spurs to win. I don't want Spurs to win. But if there was ever going to be a time for Spurs to beat Liverpool, it'd be now. Like, if there was ever going to be a day to do it. I think Kulusevski's back as well. Potentially.
He's back, yeah.
Guaranteed, yeah.
So I think that's a massive boost for them. But of course, with that boost, Son comes out. I just think with Jurgen, I would like to see him be a bit more pragmatic in his approach. 100%. Considering that it's not gone to plan so far this season, I think you kind of need to go back to basics, kind of need to do what you need to win instead of this total football that you've kind of been playing for the last 3-4 years, the Jurgen Klopp heavy metal, just to get a result. Because it'd be very embarrassing to go to Tottenham away and lose, considering that record. I have but I have no hope for you guys. I'll be honest. I have zero hope.
Do you know what it is? It would be embarrassing, but losing to Nottingham Forest and then Leeds back to back, I think that's more embarrassing than losing to Spurs.
I mean, so you're already there. You're already at the bottom.
Exactly. So it can only do. I mean,
but
there was Europe during the week. Keep saying that, then Zane's going to get onto you in a minute. Like honestly, before you know he's in the comments. Talk to me about back to life, back to reality. You just put yourself there.
You can DM me about it.
I think though with this, I think there's a lot of pressure on Tottenham. Because the way their fans are talking, when you, the expression I use is one doth protest too much. This whole we're third, we won our champion. Did they win the Champions League group?
They did.
They did. I get confused.
Oh, I hate that.
We won our Champions League group. We're third in the league. Why is everybody criticizing us? Well, because Newcastle are catching you, Man United are catching up with you, and both Newcastle and Man United play before Tottenham do on Sunday. And I believe if Man United and Newcastle win, United go level on points for game in hand, and Newcastle go ahead of them. I just don't know if Spurs can handle that pressure. And I know that I wish there was a Spurs fan here to fight their corner. You can in the comments. That is where I see the Spursy element coming through.
Let's take it as a Tottenham fan. Let's pretend that. Let's just pretend for 2 minutes. Although. Let's pretend I'm Patrick because he's super positive about Tottenham. Let's just pretend. Although we might not feel the style of play is exciting or quote unquote sustainable, that's been thrown around a lot this season, to use Terry's own point against him, they are still third. They did top their group, whether we like it or not, whether we enjoyed the football. And even though I don't believe the group of players have that mentality, do you know who does have that mentality? Conte. The Conte factor. So if I was a Spurs fan, and I'm trying to pick some reason as to why we will beat this Liverpool side, that would be why. And also, if they do get Kulu back, I think he's massive.
Can I flip that round? Just because I
was thinking about this
just a second ago, but obviously with the way they came back in the Champions League, give credit where it's due. Away to Marseille, that was an incredible stadium. The incredible noise that was in it. Now, I will partly say that I think Marseille bottled it. I will say that. And it is full of Arsenal players. So, I mean, it was kind of to be predicted.
We're not doing this.
To be fair, I mean, they came from behind in a very tough atmosphere and they won the game. Now, to be fair, Conte wasn't on the touchline on Wednesday, I think it was. Or Tuesday,
it was in the stands.
Whenever it was. Is that then another potential thing that you could turn around and say Conte not being involved, although we all know he had like an earpiece in and something going on? Is that potentially going to be Conte then overcomplicating it? Because we definitely saw that in his second year at Chelsea when he overcomplicated things a little bit too much.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
The only thing I will say in Conte's defense is he can defend. He can, he can play that low block because of the way that they play. They can make that back three or back five. They can make it very difficult. And because of the range of passing that Kane has got, that counter-attack is on.
Oh, absolutely.
Big time,
I think
especially with the way Robertson and Trent are going to go forward.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing is who's going to step up. If that counter-attack is potentially on, Kane can play those through balls, potentially get into the box. Kulusevski, I would probably say.
No. Let's draw it back. This guy hasn't had games, so Kulusevski.
Oh yeah, no, of course. Yeah,
so,
there's going to have to be someone that steps up to the plate. 100%. Ideally, it would be Son. Of course, he's not playing. But again, this could be a real opportunity for someone to come back and really make a mark.
Well, like Lucas Moura, potentially.
Is Moura out? I'm not.
Is he?
Yeah,
is he out? Who do they have up front? Who is available? Do you know what? Maybe you do have. Maybe they have a chance. Maybe they do have a chance.
No Richarlison, no Moura. They got no pace. The only person they're going to be relying on is Ryan Sessegnon to get out that pitch and old man Perisic. Maybe they're going to have to pay Perisic there.
Yeah. Maybe.
But Vegas is out as well, though, isn't he?
Romero's not there. You know what? If you lot don't win, I swear, do not cut. I'm not joking. Do not get me on live on Sunday. I'm not joking. I'll get every single one of you Liverpool fans.
Would you be surprised if Liverpool lost, though? Be honest.
No.
Exactly.
No, I'm gonna have. No, you know what? Either way, my club might be eating. I don't mind. This weekend, my club needs to eat.
But like Craig said, is that exact point kind of goes back to what I was saying around Jurgen being a bit more pragmatic. If we think that's where Tottenham are going to have their joy by sitting a low block and getting them on the counter, especially with Harry Kane picking up the ball in that kind of like playmaker role on the break, that's where Jurgen needs to abandon the heavy metal football.
Yeah. That's my frustration with Klopp, because we talk about all these teams that we go and play. There's never a change in regards to like what other team we're coming up against or what other tactic that the opposing manager plays. It's just we play our way. If it don't work, tough, we're just going to start spamming crosses in. And that's the frustrating bit for me, because you see it like in top managers, like back in the day you would with Rafa Benitez or even Conte. They'll go and change their style depending on who they're facing. And you see it in the kind of in the top high level games. That's where, I mean, it could be crucial, especially when you haven't got the players at your disposal playing at the highest level. As well.
I agree. I feel like with Liverpool, they remind me of kind of like an aging boxer who's still got that power. And I feel like every time they look like they're down and out, Derek Chisora almost at this point in his career, it looks like he's going to retire because he has a bad loss. And then he comes back and sparks someone's plugs. I think they'll do that this weekend. It's almost, you had that embarrassing defeat last week. And I think you'll come back and there'll be some going, that'll be it. White Hart Lane's a fortress. They won't be able to, there's no way Liverpool can do anything. Look how bad they've been in the league the last 2 games. And it'll almost be like a bit of a throwback performance as we saw with the City game a few weeks ago. They look really good. It is about that high line, though. I think you're right, Colleen. They can't exploit themselves too much. However, there really isn't anybody at Tottenham to really run in behind them, punish them. So I think it's such a balanced game. And I want to get the predictions from the viewers. Who do they think is going to come out in top in this game? We're going to do it here. If you guys could write down for me who you think is going to win. A little cheeky score prediction as well. Viewers, make sure you're getting that done for us right now in the comment section. We want to know who you think is going to win. We want to know who you think is going to come out on top in this game. And I'm going to write mine. If you guys watched my preview earlier today, you already know what I think, but I'm going to write it down. All right, who I think is going to win. And I'll put mine up for you first of all. So I'm going with a Liverpool win. And I think Liverpool are going to win 2-0 in this game. That is what I think and feel. Viewers, I want your score predictions right now. What did you say? Liverpool to win 2-1.
You said 2-0.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-1 then. 2-1. I'm nervous. I'm hosting a show. I'm scared. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going with 2-1 to Liverpool this Sunday, 4:30 kickoff. Remember, we're live on the Terrace at full time. We're going to go to Craig and Kaz first of all. What are you saying? What are you saying, Craigo?
We're actually in agreement on this.
Yeah.
Do you want to do
like
the same,
brothers.
guys? Yeah.
Score draw.
1-1.
Score draw. I mean, you move us over a little bit, please, because there we go.
I'm on the end.
There we go. Yeah, do it on the inside. That makes
There we
sense.
go. Yeah, 1-1.
1-1 they've gone for there. Interesting. JJ, Cole?
Oh,
You guys will go.
I've gone for 2-1 to Tottenham. As much as it pains me, I just don't think Liverpool can do us any favor.
JJ changes about 6 times.
Yeah, I've had to change it because I tried to be optimistic, but bun it. I ain't being optimistic. I just wanted to say, Terry, though, it hurt me that you compared Liverpool to Derek Chisora. You know, you could have said Deontay Wilder. You could have said anyone.
True.
Said Chisora, which is mad. I'm saying I'm going with them, to be fair. I think it's going to be a draw. And I think we're going to concede first. I think it's a banker.
Yeah,
That's-
I would
that's-
say
Yeah,
that
in the
as
middle,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, I would agree on that.
Banker. If anyone's a betting man, bet on Liverpool to concede first.
100%.
Look at that. Well, there we go. That's our score predictions in. Make sure like buttons are being smashed. Make sure you're scanning the QR code for NordVPN and you're getting that downloaded. Remember, 3 p.m. kickoff tomorrow, $2.99 a month with our friends over at Setanta Sport in Moldova. I have sent a lot of DMs out this week, people asking me how to do it because there's a number of workarounds that you've got to do. I even had to set up an Apple account out of Moldova just so I can make the payment. But I can't keep revealing these things online. You got to work these things out yourself a little bit, but do it on your computer as well and not your app. It's better on your laptop or computer than it is the app, to be fair. Next talking point on the show. Unbeaten in 9 games. Won our 7th game in the last 60 plus years in Spain last night. Manchester United improving, but we go away to
Good evening.
we're going away to Unai Emery's just been appointed. Good evening. He's Aston Villa team. We go away to them 2 p.m. Sunday afternoon. Kaz, as a United fan, how confident are you feeling about this game?
No, we're winning.
What's
Why are you looking at me like that? We're winning. Like, no, I've like, again, it's like West Ham. I said I had an odd feeling that it's going to be a difficult result, but Martial's back. Anthony's there. You know, Sancho's not ill anymore. Lindelof got some minutes after being ill as well. He's getting ill a lot this season. I wonder what he's doing. Yeah, no, I'm calm.
the confidence it brings you after
if they're gonna
finishing
get smacked
second
up
in your
by
group?
Newcastle 4-0, my team go there and do a little bit at their ground. Like, yes, they got their 3-0 win against Brentford. Brentford away stinks anyways. But yeah, I get it. People can say, oh, but they beat you at home. No, away, bro. Like, there's no reason why we can't beat them. Like, the manager's only just come in, new manager bounce. Don't think it's going to do much. We don't typically do bad at Villa's ground, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm confident. As a United fan, I'm confident. I'm sort of like, even though we didn't achieve our objective last night of winning by more than 2 clear goals, we still, we got 15 points out of 18, the same as Arsenal got in their group. Is that right?
Potentially.
Yeah,
I don't know.
so
I just know that we topped it.
Yeah, you only watched
You
that.
did. And we've got, and the only issue for us is the extra game, but that's not going to affect us against Aston Villa. You know, since the Man City game where they pummeled us, you know, in the league and Europa League, there's been 9 games that Casemiro started in, and we've conceded 1 goal from open play, and that was that absolute rocket from Iwobi, which again, so we haven't conceded a goal from inside the box or a goal from open play outside of that screamer since Casemiro has been in the middle. So I think Man United fans should be confident going into this game. Villa are not very good. Yes, they've got Unai Emery, and there could be new manager bounce, which you have to kind of guard against. But we have got superior quality from front to back, and you got Casemiro in the middle, and then you got Lissandro at the back, and Lissandro Martinez is performing at a world-class level right now in terms of his distribution, in terms of his defensive capabilities, the way he's orchestrating the back line. He's a leader, and with them 2 in my team now, I'm confident of beating nearly anybody. As long as we're not stupid and kamikaze as we were against Man City, I think we can beat anyone, and we've proven this season in the Premier League alone, barring that game against against Man City, where they smashed us to pieces. Since those opening 2 games and the manager's introduced his style and he's really got under the skin of these players and said, we're going to do it my way now, or it's the highway, United have been phenomenal. Only Arsenal have had more points than us since. And so, yeah, of course. Do I think Villa can beat us? Yes. It's a football match. Do I think we're 100% guaranteed to win? No. But I think for Man United fans to go into these games now without an air of confidence about them, I think people will be underplaying it personally.
Terry, you're also forgetting we need some vengeance, because I'm still haunted by that Europa League final. We got good evening badly by Villarreal.
We did. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to do that. But also, Man United have got more points. The only ground in the Premier League Man United have won more points at than at Villa Park is Old Trafford. So we it's basically at home from home.
Okay, then let's flip it then, because you guys are feeling very confident, right? I think that's fair to say. And I think as a United fan, generally, you should be feeling confident to beat Aston Villa. If you're Unai Emery and you're looking at this Man United squad or potential first XI, what area are you targeting to think we might get some joy?
Easy. As long as there's Tyrone Mings in that back line, yeah, anything is possible. See, your team got lucky against him because Tyrone Mings, right? Why can I have not happened with us? Tyrone Mings is abysmal. Well, I do like the guy. He's actually genuinely nice guy. I've had a chat with him before, like in the past, but other than that, like nah, man, there's Tyrone Mings in that back line. Like, I just mentioned Tyrone Mings like 4 times. Like there you go. But we also not just Martinez as well. I don't know how he's going to set up against Man United. You're going to probably have to set up away from home. I think they're going to have a little bit of the ball. They have got some good players in the middle of the park.
Mm-hmm.
But even when you got our fullbacks, which is, I don't know how, because I didn't rate Delo. Like you say, Martinez is like Delo's actually performing at that level at the moment. I'm not saying he's going to be the next best thing since.
So where's the weak spot? Where is this weak? Where is the weak spot in this United XI?
Scoring.
If you're an Aston Villa guy,
the weak spot is putting the ball in the back of the net.
I agree.
So not scoring enough goals is the only Achilles heel. They will only beat us if we fail to score goals. We will make more chances and more big chances than them. And as long as we take the lion's share or convert 25%, say, which is a good conversion rate at this level, we'll win the game because we are better than them. And I'm seeing people in the comments say, Villa Park, are we rocking? So what? I don't care. Man United are better than Villa. We should go into this game with how we've played. And I'm seeing fans here, because I know who you'll support. You're watching my shows all the time. I'm seeing fans here of teams that we dominated say, I'm not worried about this Man United team. We smacked you up. We did. We smacked you up. Even with Chelsea, we didn't beat you.
First half, you
but that
battered
first
us.
half against, and we never do that at Stamford Bridge. We never do that at Stamford Bridge. Even the best Fergie teams against average Chelsea teams before the Roman era didn't do that at Stamford Bridge. And the style of players come in, and no disrespect, Villa are nowhere near the standard of Arsenal, nowhere near the standard of Liverpool, even this season, nowhere near the standard of Chelsea. I don't even think they're as good as Real Sociedad, and we just went to their back garden, okay? They've won 9 of their last 11 games, sitting 5th in La Liga, have the best defensive record in the Europa League and beat them. So to say that we shouldn't have any confidence going to Villa Park is mad.
Something else I need to add as well. There's one thing I do never ever want to see ever in my entire life ever again, and that is Harry Maguire up front. Honestly, if I ever see Harry, I had to say it. Like honestly, that if that doesn't tell the board from Ten Hag that we need a striker because we need to put Dan Maguire up front to potentially get a knock on. It didn't work out. I don't know what formation he was.
Jose used to do that with Robert Hoof, you know. Jose used to do that with Robert Hoof quite a bit.
Stephen Colker for Liverpool.
Yeah.
I've got a question though. Quick one. We talk about lack of goals. Does Ten Hag start Ronaldo?
I was just going to say
I think he does. I think it'd be what I actually thought Ronaldo played quite decently against Sociedad. It's just that we didn't play the way we usually play against them. He didn't really but he done some bad things, done some good things, but no way can anybody be getting onto him about yesterday because it was just the team collective in general. There's one positive about Sunday, and I'm not a big fan of him, but he's doing well this season, and I actually quite like to see what I'm saying. You know what I'm going to say? No Bruno Fernandes means we're going to have more control as well. And I like that.
What do you mean more control?
Because I just feel like when there's Bruno and Eriksen in the middle of the field, we somehow... I get it. They're both kind of similar in a way. They give away the ball quite a lot. But in terms of control, like, I reckon we press better when we got a different midfielder in there, like Fred. I reckon as a unit, we do press a little bit better. And I just in general retention, control, and winning the ball back quickly against someone like Villa, that's what I kind of want.
I know you've got an issue with Bruno, but he has been...
No, but that's why I give him credit. I think
he's been sensational
great.
this year.
I just don't like it when Eriksen and Bruno play together more time all
But-
the
but
time.
they've
Against a
been-
bigger team, yes.
I get
maybe.
that, but those are the guys that have been in the teams where we've had our best performances in years. So for me, I think we nitpick too much. So I don't have the quotes to hand, but I was reading something that Kevin De Bruyne spoke about today, or in the last few days. It was all over Twitter today, where he's been saying that he does some stats he doesn't take seriously. And he said, like, no footballer takes pass completion stats seriously. And his view was, because the reason my pass completion stats are in the low 80s, high 70s is because I'm trying things. And he said, I'd rather attempt that hard pass 5 times and on the 6th attempt, it creates a goal than try it once and then bottle it for the rest of the game. And ironically, we speak about the Bruno comments around Garnacho. And everyone's angry that he mentioned bad attitude.
Oh, that's stupid.
Well, the manager already said it a week before. But if you actually listen to the full interviews, they weren't talking about bad attitude drinking and going out with girls and not turning up to training. They were talking about in training and in games, he'd try and dribble past someone, it wouldn't work. So we'd stop and take the easy route. That's what they meant by bad attitude. He wasn't, and Ten Hag said not resilient enough. And what I love about Bruno is so resilient. Yeah, he moans, and yes, he cries, and yes, he annoys people, but he will attempt that through ball 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times on the bounce. And in the end, he creates the chances. That's why he is equal on big chances created and general chances created in the Premier League in the last 3 years with KDB. They are the same. KDB is just better than him. But Bruno Fernandes, he ain't a bad second place. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's pretty damn good.
Yeah, but with Bruno, for me as well, it's like, it's not I'm going to get onto, because I like the his work rate and things as well. But one thing that Villa and Unai Emery, the way he plays in counter attacks, it might be a bit of blessing in disguise. What I'm going to say as well, like, I'm not getting onto, because I actually said, like, I do like what he's doing at the moment. He's a bit more refined. I ain't seen that Bruno ever. So for us, I like his work rate. I do like what he's doing. He's giving up a lot for the team, even just going out on the right wing. Do you know what I mean? He's doing a job. But at the same time, I feel like putting in a thread in there can nullify their counter a little bit better in the away game, because it did happen against Chelsea in the end. We had to bring on Fred because they brought on Kovacic. So for me, and it actually gives him a chance to rest. Just that's like Anthony didn't play last week. We won it against West Ham, luckily, but now he can have a rest. Lindelof had a bit of a rest. Look, Sancho, I get he was ill. A little bit of a rest, even though he's resting on the bench regardless. But it's just the point is that we still got a load of games to go.
I think though, the question about Ronaldo, I wouldn't personally start him. I would, if Anthony's fit. Has he been declared fit?
I'm not too sure, but I believe he's playing.
I don't watch press conferences. I don't know all these Man United fans that say they're cancelled, like MUT. They don't know anything about the club. The only way you know this stuff is by watching the press conference and going on the website. So I'm always behind on United news. But the point I'm making, sorry.
The United report, boy, that Twitter account, they got you.
But you don't ever get the full detail. Like, quotes are fine, but you have to go in. It's a bit like the Bruno comments. Unless you actually go and watch what he said, you realize there was no malice in it. You read 2 lines, it means something else. But I would go with Anthony on the right if he's fit. I would go Rashford in the middle, and I would give him a start after his performance last night, and I would start Garnacho on the left hand side. I think he deserves it. He was brilliant in both those Europa League games, and it sends a message to the youngsters. And as good as Ronaldo may have been in that first half, when he's on that pitch, he takes away so much speed from our attack. And there's times where there's an opening to break, and I love Ronaldo, but he's just not it anymore. He can't break into those spaces. I think we should use him against teams that, and maybe they will sit back, and maybe there'll be a complete low block the whole game, and we have to try and break him down, and Ronaldo can come on late in the match. But I just feel sometimes his hips. You ever seen the music video of Robbie dancing when Partey signed? That's Ronaldo trying to turn. That's Ronaldo now, and it slows us down so much. It really, really does.
A quick one, Terry.
Go on, bro.
On Garnacho, what's the situation? Garnacho, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. What's the situation with Sancho now?
I hold the bench, mate.
Considering obviously Martial's coming back, Rashford now is apparently the best thing since sliced bread. Now you got Garnacho. It's like, what's going on? What's happening with Sancho? Is that it for him? That
you think you're smart with
Sancho?
It's called healthy competition. That matches.
Yeah, but do you think he can actually live up to that competition?
So.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if he can, but equally, as long as the likes of Alessandro and Martial come back in and move the envelope and make us better. People keep asking me how I feel about Sancho maybe being phased out. If Man United become a better team, I don't care. I'm just like I've been saying this to Gooners for the past couple of weeks in all my who's scared of Arsenal today videos. I've been saying to all of them, like, why are you all crying that maybe Eddie Nketiah might not be good enough? Like, you lot should just be celebrating that you're back. Like for me, it's caring about players is what failing clubs do.
Yeah.
Like when Man United sold David Beckham, he was my idol as a kid, but he left and I was like, oh, that's sad. Who's coming in to replace him? And it was gone out of my mind within seconds. When Yap Stan was moved on, Roy Keane was moved on, when Ronaldo left in 2009, I didn't care. I didn't really care because I cared about my club. The only time I started caring about players and I felt myself do it was when all I had was the hope that Rashford, who came through the academy, was going to be a star. That was literally the peak of being a Man United fan. And Arsenal and Man United fans were the worst. My star boy versus your star boy. It is so pathetic when you actually break it down. Support your club, not players, people. Obviously, within it, you support your players, but they're never more important than your club. So I get your point. I don't think he'll step up to it, though. I don't.
I reckon so. I just don't think he will on the left-hand side. I'll be honest. It's going to have to be out of him and Anthony. I think Sancho is better on the right-hand side where the game's a little bit more simple for him. And also, I feel like Sancho needs a type of player near him. Like, you know, like he likes to pass and go. You're not going to get that Ronaldo. You're not going to get that Rashford. You're going to get that Marcel, though. But
do you think he's got the pace, though, to play out wide?
I think
if you look at wingers now in the Premier League or just in world football, a lot of them are explosive.
Well, Kulusevski's not.
But Kulusevski's got strides though. He's compare Sancho. Sancho is much shorter than him.
Sancho has got zero pace.
It's acceleration as well.
He has nothing.
He might actually be better in a central role.
That's what I say.
That under 10 Hag?
No,
I've been saying this for ages. He looks like, for me, look at where all his goals are in the middle of the park, especially against your team. If you remember that one in the 10. I think that's where Sancho can lie. If you look at it, he always looks left, always looks right. He can do that kind of thing. But how are you going to turn a player that's been playing wing for most of his life into a 10?
I agree. Sancho, though, has no athleticism about himself whatsoever. And, you know, sentiment kills in football. And as much as I wanted him to be this 70, 80 million pound star that would come in, would take over the right-hand side, he's not getting that right-hand side back unless Anthony flops. And I don't think he's going to. I think he started well and he was, up until that little injury, he was improving game by game. He's obviously Ten Hag's guy. Garnacho's coming in and it looks hungry for it and he's got speed, athleticism.
It's nice to look at.
Rashford's doing what he's doing. I honestly think that Sancho, with the way it looks right now, I feel like he'll be phased out. I think I think by the end of this season, he'll be done at Man United.
Right. Can I ask a question?
There's still time.
Can I ask a question then?
See, you guys saying you believe. You remind me of Donny van der Beek fanboys.
No, I'm ready to move on from that. I was on that bandwagon, Terry. I'm not joking. Look, I get it. He's only had a couple games, couple minutes. I'm kind of eager to see how he goes from there. But in the pace of the Premier League and everything, I think the Donny van der Beek ship is kind of sailed for me. I'll be honest. There's better centre mids out there that we definitely do need. That we need to.
Do you know what's funny, right? With San, I get your point on Donny, and my view on Donny van der Beek is really simple. Really simple. People generally don't rate Donny van der Beek. They hate Bruno Fernandes, and Donny van der Beek is like a pawn in their agenda against him. On Sancho, though, Sancho had a good start to the season, and I was talking about maybe he should be back in the England squad, but I expected him from that point till now to go to another level, and I'm talking Dortmund level. He hasn't done that. I feel like I've seen more in a couple of games from Garnacho and Anthony from his debut till now combined than I've seen in Sancho in 2 years. And if they can walk into a team and instantly go, oh, and you know, with Garnacho is a great example, there's an excitement when he touches the ball. There's an excitement when Anthony touches the ball. Even when Rashford gets it, you think, what's he going to do? With Sancho, it's like, we know what he's going to do. He's going to look like he's going to go left, then he's going to go right, and then he ain't going to beat his man. He's going to pass it back. And then every now and then he takes somebody on. He doesn't do it regularly enough for me. And I think it's because he doesn't have the physicality to beat a man. And that's a problem in the Premier League. Go back to the Bundesliga, go and play in Italy, go and play in the slightly slower pace leagues, and I think he will rip it up. Premier League, he's a marshmallow. He's not going to be able to do it.
In him, man. He's from South London. I need to support the boy. It is where.
Well, I'm from north of the river, bro, where the proper man are at.
We're not gonna do postcode wars.
There's a reason why 80% of the tube stations are north of the river, bruv.
And there's a reason why we got better links down in South.
Better links.
Yeah, we do. Anyway, I want to get a bus and I don't have to wait 10 minutes or 50 minutes just to go from Enfield, which
do you know why it is, bro? Because north of the river, we don't need that. We've got cars.
Clearly, you're going to be stuck in Peckham.
I'm only joking. I'm from the East End. It's pretty deprived. But it used to be. Now it's gentrified, and none of us can afford to live there anymore. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day. Predictions, people, for Man United, Aston Villa. Viewers who want to get yours in now. We want to know who you think is going to win, what the score predictions are. Please make sure you're smashing like and share buttons as well. We have some super chats here we're going to do before that. I'm so sad. Drake curse coming for Arsenal. We'll come back to the Arsenal stuff a little bit later. If Spurs play 3-5-2, then it will be difficult for Liverpool. Liverpool have a passive midfield and Spurs midfielders are quality. Else Liverpool win easy. Good, a really good point of view that there, Bison. What's you guys? Okay, we'll come back to Arsenal stuff a little bit later in the show. Villa hasn't beaten United in the league since 1995.
That's a lie. I swear they beat us 1-0 last year.
Yeah, I think they did beat us last year. Maybe at Villa Park, that is.
The Coutinho late one, remember? I think it was a draw, innit?
There's a draw, but I think they have beaten us at some point recently. I didn't check for the show. Terry, stop reading football and start watching it. Stats don't tell you the whole story.
I like that guy's comment. I pick up. What's his name? Mousy. Is his name Maisie or Mousy?
I don't know how to pronounce that. That's a hard name for a dyslexic. That's a very hard name because I can't tell whether it's meant to be spelled like that or it's my eyes. I don't know. But what I would say to it is this: it's not about. It is reading the game. I don't need the statistics. Are literally what we're ignoring. The statistic that you're focusing on is Bruno loses the ball too much. My opinion is, no, I'm watching the game. He is trying to break lines and create chances. Therefore, the stats you are using will be low, but they're meant to be low. So my eyes are telling me he's doing the right thing. What would be wrong is to only lose the ball 3 times in a game, have 99 pass completion rate, but never try to break a line because you never score. You have to break a few eggs to make an omelette, my friend. Chike here says, who will challenge Man City for the title this season? We'll get onto that a little bit later again.
Please.
Most of these super chats aren't related to what we're talking about, so we'll come back to the stuff around Arsenal a little bit later. But first of all, we're going to go to JJ and Colleen for their predictions. I like you, JJ. I like you, JJ. Manure, I don't like you. What are you saying?
Oh, you
Go
can
on,
read
Cole.
that.
Obviously, have to back my babes.
Good
1-0. Good evening. 1-0 to Villa.
You're actually a hater, you know. Like, honestly, even you don't believe that. Tell me right now. Look into my eyes.
Listen, I wouldn't believe
look into my
it.
eyes, not around the eyes. Into the eyes. Remember that little Britain?
I wouldn't believe it, but with Emery there, I need to back my boy.
Also,
So why don't you back your boy and let him get sacked?
Listen, I love him, just not in N5.
Just because he says Ibn.
Just not in N5. Anywhere else.
We're not going to hide from away from the fact that Kaz did a nice little ploy there to look into Colleen's eyes. You hear?
I know.
Mm.
I don't do
I
that.
I see you, Kaz.
Don't do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kaz fancies calling. Na, na, na. That's it.
How many people are watching live right now? You know what we're going to do now? Wow.
What's your prediction, Kaz?
I've got, can you see this nice? Got 3-1 Man United. They even done Marcel twice, Rashford once, and Danny Ings.
Look at that. That's a good scoreline. What you saying, Craigo? 3-0 United.
3-0. I think you're going to dominate them. I think they'll get better with the new manager bounce. I just don't think it's yet.
I hear you on that. And it's interesting scoreline you've gone for because I've also gone here for 3-0 to Man United. And I think we'll dominate. I think we'll score some goals. And I'm waiting. It's coming. And I'm going to predict this every game until it comes now, is a dominant performance where people actually stand up and take note. It's going to be 10 games unbeaten. Because I think Liverpool are going to beat Tottenham, we're going to close that gap and be level on points with Tottenham. And then I really want to ask some questions. Because imagine this, Tottenham, who 2 weeks ago was saying, we're in a title race. Imagine being level on points with the team most Tottenham fans that came on this show and sat in our comments said wouldn't make top 8. We're having a big conversation Monday back on the top 6 show when United smash Villa. Now, hit the like and the share button. People subscribe to the channel. Yes, Kaz.
You know what's mad as well? I had, obviously everyone here is content creators. Months, especially you, Daps, and you, like you said, you don't even know if Man United can go in those winning runs, like 10 game winning runs, or like losing 10, 15. Can they do that? Imagine Man United start doing that. Are you going to start putting respect on our names, or
no?
Like, come on, like, you know how hard that is to do. Like, Arsenal are doing it. I mean, we stopped.
In all honesty, if you guys obviously went on like a 10, 15 game winning like streak.
Oh, do you mean winning or no drawings? Like just literally win?
No, but if you have like a couple draws, I'm not going to say anything. But if you draw 7 games out of that, then you can't compare it to what City and Liverpool did.
And also, what competitions it in as well. I know there's obviously with the World Cup's going to be.
If it's just like in the Prem, then of course I'm going to put respect to it. You've got to be real. Do you know what I mean? You can't.
It's just mad that we might actually be 10 points ahead of you.
You might.
Yeah, I know, there's a big possibility.
Not though.
And it's mad that Arsenal actually might be how many points above? if it goes your way and not their way.
Hang on, have you got a game in hand on Liverpool as well?
Oh no, we don't. We got a game.
Okay.
We got a game in hand
actually-
against Tottenham.
Do you know what we've done for the season? We've just changed places with Arsenal. That's all we did. So like, do you know what I mean? Just for the season.
You know what's mad?
We went on holiday down to 8th just to experience how that is.
Yeah.
Obviously from next season.
It's going to be another 30-year holiday,
I wanna
clearly,
give-
because I don't know what's going on
I don't
over
think
here.
so.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
say
think
this,
so.
yeah.
We're not talking about us. We're
Yeah.
talking about
But just a
Liverpool.
quick thing about Liverpool. I think you man actually do come back. You get your couple signs and that's it. I think you do get some couple signs and you come back. Just a mad winning streak. I do believe.
What signings went
And
in
I actually
January
do believe
or
Arsenal
summer?
will fall off as well. Huh?
What you mean in January? You think Liverpool are going to make a couple signings?
No, I actually think you're going to make a couple signings. Maybe not the most glamorous ones, but I'm not joking. Your side is too good to not get a winning run going. I actually still believe that Klopp's going to do something. And you fans are saying FSG out.
Do you know what is
lips?
No, but do you know what is? You say that, but Chelsea were in a similar situation where they had a quality team that had just won the league, and you saw how it went with Conte. They had the same thing with Mourinho as well. It's not always just about the players; it's about that same message being repeated over and over again. And can you get the players up again to do the same thing, especially with like refreshing?
Do you know what? I mean, I must have said this 1,000 times on streams over the last 5, 6, 7 years. But when you listen to the Peps, when you listen to the Jose Mourinho's, when you listen to retired top class managers, when they talk about Fergie, they all say, forget the treble for a moment, forget the double, the first person to ever do it, forget 13 league titles, forget the records that he broke and the players he developed, forget all the nice things he did for people, forget 4 decades of being at the highest level of the game, forget what he did forget what he did in Scotland when Scottish football was a powerhouse and he broke the Glasgow dominance and went and won a European trophy with Aberdeen. Forget all of that. 25 years of motivating a team to stay at the highest level, never coming below third, invariably winning the league. That's the biggest achievement, keeping those players motivated year in, year out. Pep's doing a great job. He's been there that long. Like Jurgen Klopp normally lasts around 7 years. 7 years is beyond long term. If you go, people think about the old days, all managers were at clubs for years and years. They weren't, because it's hard to keep people. If you think about normal jobs, how many people stay in the same job, in the same role, doing the same thing,
and have the same output, and it's just about having the same output.
Yeah,
as well,
exactly. So no, I agree. That's one of the hardest things to do in football is sort of maintain those kind of levels. But viewers, hit the likes and the share buttons and make sure you're signing up now to NordVPN and protecting yourselves online. Make sure you get that done. If you do want to work out or know the tricks to be able to stream legally very cheap football, including 3 o'clock games, multiple leagues, drop me a DM on Twitter and I can send you through the instructions and the workarounds I'm using to make it work. So get that done now. Next talking point before we move on to the big clash this weekend. This is going to be a little bit of fun. And I want to get your answers in this as well, people. Who are your top 5 underperforming players in the Premier League this year? Underperforming players. Who are your top 5 worst performing Premier League players in the Premier League this year? I want to get your thoughts and I want to get your feelings on that. We're gonna do our lists here as we speak, but we want to get your thoughts and your feelings on this as everyone's writing their list down. There's some great people that could be on this list. There's some excellent candidates who have underperformed based on what everybody expected. I want to get your thoughts and I want to get your feelings on that. Comment here, I'm going to read out why they're doing that. It says, for me, United will finish 2nd, Chelsea 3rd, and it's a shootout, Arsenal and Spurs for 4th. Colleen is a true Spurs fan wearing a shirt of South London's London club. We've got something going on in here. I'm not too sure what's happening. I'm really intrigued. Oh, Colleen dropped her pen.
No, I didn't drop a pen. It was never there. But it was never there.
That's what it was. I was wondering what they were talking about there.
Sorry, is this
Usman
new
here.
signings or is this?
No, this is just any player, anyone who's
fine.
underperforming this year in the Premier League. We want to hear from you. We want your. If you can't think of 5, just give me your top 2. It doesn't really matter. We'll put a top 5 together on the show. Is what we're here to do today. I want to get your comments in. I want to know what you think and what you feel, people. Let's have a little look at some of these coming in here. Some of these are interesting. This is an interesting one. Son, Salah, Ronaldo, Sterling, Sancho. I mean, pretty much all the S's there. Do you know what I mean? SSS right across the board.
I've got an interesting one actually. If you want to hear it.
Yeah, go on. What's yours?
Philippe Coutinho.
That was on my list. That's on my list.
How can you be underperforming? Is that not even playing?
Exactly.
He should be playing.
But that's not underperforming because he ain't performed.
But exactly. Me and Nigal have this argument all the time. If you keep saying I think Eddie Nketiah is good enough. If he could just get into the first team, I'm like, well, the fact he's not in the first team is the evidence that he's not good enough. You know, he's not been given the chance to do it. We've got another one here: Coutinho, Maguire, Son, Darwin, Nketiah. That's an interesting list. I like that list. I do like that list there. It's a decent list. I mean, this is a good one. Son, this is a perfect list for me. Son, Trent, VVD, Grealish, Sterling. That is an interesting one that we're seeing there. Sancho, Grealish, Van Dijk, Trent, Son. I mean, there's a lot in that list there. Are we ready with our list now? What are you saying, JJ? Who's on your list, bro?
Mine, is. I mean, who do you want to pick from the Liverpool team? Like anyone. Bar Allison, everyone. Sancho, Sterling, Coutinho, and I've got Gabriel.
Nonsense.
Oh, so talk to me about Gabriel. Why Gabriel?
When you're winning, it papers over a lot of cracks, especially when you're winning games, when you're being successful. He makes so many blunders, yet they still manage to go and win games. And I've seen him when he first came in. He was, for me, in my opinion, he was much, much more solid. This season, he's looked very, very shaky. Like if he was in Liverpool's backline, he'd look as bad as Gomez has been at times. Like he just would. But in a team when you're winning consistently, do I mean everyone just turns a blind eye? I know he's Jess's favourite centre-back or favourite player, apparently.
Lies. I'm going to call Jess out on that.
Yeah.
I do not believe her. I told her straight. We've watched every Arsenal game together in this room all season, and I just know by her reactions during that game, she don't like it. Like I'm not saying she doesn't like him, but he definitely ain't her favourite player. But yeah, I can understand why he's on that list.
What I mean
I can
is
understand that.
Obviously, he's not.
I don't know how he makes the top 5 in that list. I think that's wild.
No. But you have to go. You can't just go and exclude a team just because you guys.
I'm not saying exclude the team. I didn't say that.
Watch his performances, or you were to look at how many errors he goes and makes.
He makes a lot of errors, but when he's not in the side, we're considerably worse. That's why I don't have him in my top 5.
No, but you're considerably worse because you haven't got the quality on the bench to go and play someone else. Hence why there's a lot of rumors about you guys are going in for a next centre back.
Gabriel has like a bozo gene for sure. I get so frustrated with him, but I wouldn't. There's no way he makes it into my top 5 of underperformers. No way.
I don't know.
Absolutely not.
For me, considering how well you guys are playing and how well he's played in previous seasons,
like,
for me, that is because
the way we play, a lot of it is because of him. I don't think there's no one else in our squad or many other centre backs that I would rather have in than Gabriel. Despite the fact
in the squad, though?
No, I mean generally, despite his bozo gene, despite that.
What in world football?
I mean, if I could pick, like, there's probably like a list of what, 7,
in the Premier League.
7 or 8. There's like 1 or 2, but I like Gabriel. He wouldn't be in my top 5 underperformers. However, I am critical of some of his bozo moments because it is frustrating as an Arsenal fan. But no way does he make a top 5 of underperformers.
Listen,
top 5 in the whole Premier League, Gabriel.
It's like when Liverpool had Lovren. And when Liverpool had Lovren,
do not put Gabriel on Lovren's level.
It's great. It's great. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
No.
JJ, Colleen is right. Don't put Lovren and Gabriel as well. That is a Champions League.
Oh, do you know what?
World Cup finalist, if I'm correct, right?
Finalist.
Oh, World Cup, yeah. Let's not even get into it.
Yeah, I missed that guy in the Premier League. I do. What are you saying, Kaz? Who's your top 5?
So I'm gonna cover the bottom one here. Can you guys see it? I've got Cucurella, right? Trent Alexander-Arnold, Heung-min Son. I've got Jared Bowen. I've got Gabriel Jesus.
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I don't know. You're trying to get me to rise to it,
Can you
and I'm
kind
not
of
going to
highlight
rise.
like how I done the S as well? Like,
I'm not rising to this nonsense.
And I got excited.
How is Gabriel Jesus in the
Alright,
top
2 and
5 underperformers this season? Are you taking the mick?
Nah.
How?
It's just like 2 and 12. It's like it's not a joke no more. It's just nah, man. You know what? I'm actually lying. I just couldn't think another one. So I thought he's actually a wicked player, but he is underperforming at the moment. But he's not top 5. He's not top 5.
See, I don't think Gabriel Jesus is. I mean, he isn't scoring goals, but he's giving
else he brings in it.
everything else.
I was only lying, by the way.
No, I know you're only playing. Who's in your top 5, Cole?
Mine's not really that surprising. I couldn't even think of a 5th one. I've gone for Sancho, Coutinho, Trent with the eyes because we could debate he shouldn't even be in there because maybe he's just performing at the level he really is.
Really is.
At.
Really?
Grealish?
Listen, if you
started when you said that. You started when you said that.
No, as in like I've always been quite critical of Trent, but it's quite, as you said, it's quite easy to paper over the cracks over someone's deficiencies in a good team. That's basically what you said.
I agree with that.
And that's what I'm saying to Trent over here and Grealish. I think I feel a bit bad to say Grealish because I think that's a really easy target.
I don't think you say Grealish because Grealish is like he's not going to be the guy that's going to get you loads of goals and assists. But what he does, he occupies a lot of players, and what that allows is a lot more space, and that's probably why you see Haaland with the 1v1s or inside the areas where. When it comes to Grealish, you need like 2-3 players around him. I'm not being funny.
Listen,
but
I used to defend Grealish.
Just occupy a couple of players.
Do
you know what I mean?
I get what you do, but he brings something unique to the team, I think. And yeah, for 100 million, yeah, you think he needs loads of stats, loads of whatever it is, but it's what else he does. It's like Jesus. I'm not being funny, not loads of stats, but it's what else he brings to the team, right?
Yeah.
So how can you have the same breath? Rub that out. Anyways.
Yeah, but
No.
Gabriel
No.
Jesus, though, has scored or assisted in around 85% of the games he's played in. So his overall GA, and people keep saying GA is not important, it literally wins you games.
It's a striker and a left winger, though. That's not actually a goal scorer.
No, but winger, that's not used. These Grealishes and Rashfords and Mo Salahs,
forwards.
Mane's, then they're inside forwards. They don't play. Wingers were left midfielders and right midfielders that their starting position was in line with CM's but wide. These guys now are starting 30 yards further up the pitch. I remember when people were, Mane is better than Ryan Giggs ever was because he scores more goals. He's literally playing as an off the striker role.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different role. It's not a dig at Mane. It's not. It's just they're different positions.
Terry, would you say that Grealish is an inside forward though? Because you've got to look at what the expectation is from Guardiola for Grealish, and when you look at how he plays. He comes quite deep, but stays very, very wide. You compare him to, for example,
that's not inside forward.
He does.
No, but he's wide.
See, he does.
So wide.
See,
I agree with you. He's occupying the place.
And I get that, but I also see him in the box regularly, touching. I see him in those areas, and he just isn't delivering as much as I thought. Now, that element of his game, I'm not going to take away from occupying space, but we've just sat here and said how bad Jadon Sancho is. He drifts that wide. He occupies people. People come to him, but that's for £100 million player. There needs to be more than just that, in my opinion. Craigo, who's on your list, bro?
I've got 4, but I'm trying to think of the other one. But it's Sterling, Cucurella, Darwin, Nunez, and Vardy. Vardy's a bit of a strange one, but I mean, they are, I think, second or third from bottom.
Why Darwin?
I just think he could be doing more. I'll be honest with you. I think we were all expecting with the massive price tag that was on his head. I think we were all expecting him just to that little bit extra. Now, obviously, he's got to adapt to the game. But when you see what Haaland's doing in comparison to what Darwin's doing, now, obviously, City create a hell of a lot more probably chances than Liverpool do.
Do you put them in the same bracket, those two players, though?
No, I do not.
Yeah, so what's the expectation on Darwin? That's the first
transfer fee is the expectation because I know obviously City, they got the financial power to go and buy whoever they want. I get that. But at the same time, everyone around the world is looking at £100 million player. The same thing I said about Jack Grealish.
But he's not £100 million.
What was he? 85, whatever it was?
No, he's 85 once he goes and achieves certain targets. So Liverpool got to win in Champions League.
So what was the 60?
Yeah, 60.
I would still say he's a little bit of a letdown.
I've got a name for
I mean, we are, let's be honest, we are only 12 games in, whatever.
No, of course, but all right, so just asking, what's your expectation on Nunez? Because I'm on the people know I'm on the Nunez train. So
realistically, for me, obviously, Luis Diaz being injured is a big factor as well because that's where the service is going to come from. Realistically, I think first year in the league, I'd be looking at about 20 goals.
And he's got 7 in 14, and
I'm talking Prem. I'm talking Prem.
Oh yeah. So
because that's what we're going off the Prem, aren't we?
You're talking Prem, but then you also have to look at how many games does he start because he doesn't start every single game.
Yeah, that's my problem.
But isn't
how
that
are you
question
not
in itself?
starting a £60 million striker?
I'm
not saying it's you, but in the end of the day, if Klopp has really liked this guy,
I agree. Yeah.
Why are you not picking him? If that's the style of football you want to play,
the reason why I think Darwin's a shout for this list is a bit like Spurs fans we spoke about earlier that keep talking about how, but we're third and we won our group. How can anyone question anything that's going on? The fact that Liverpool fans keep pulling out he's got more goals than Gabriel or Jesus. He can't be that bad.
That bracket. Yeah,
but I know you're not doing it, JJ. But for me, it's an era of desperation. It's finding a stat and going, that means he's performing. His goals to minute ratio is very, very good. But Lukaku for Man United had a good goals to minute ratio for a period of time. Yeah, exactly. And I think that there needs to be more to your game when you're at a club like Liverpool and with the style of football. But Darwin Núñez, the one thing I like about Darwin Núñez is that resilience and perseverance and how hard he works. And I think I get the impression that he's trying very hard behind the scenes to improve on that. I'm going to do my top 5. Number 5, I'll read them out before I reveal number 1. Number 5, Harry Maguire. He hasn't played many games, but those opening 2 performances, they're going to live long, hard in my memory. They really will. Number 4, I've gone for Richarlison. I thought he would be a flop. So far, I think he has been a flop. There's nothing about him that impresses me at all. I think he's so overrated. I really do. And it's 50-60 million pounds. The expectation has to be very, very high. Number 3, I've gone for Son because I think he's a top player. And he's been abysmal, barring that like 3-minute hat trick or whatever it is that he did. Outside of that, he's been awful. Number 2, I've gone for Trent Alexander-Arnold. And I think that Trent has been a phenomenal right back. Based on those expectations this year, he has to be looked at as one of the biggest underperformers. But number 1, because he was the best centre-back in the world for 2 or 3 years, I've gone for Virgil van Dijk at number 1 because a little bit like the Trent situation, but this guy was the best centre-back in the world. And when you're the best centre-back in the world and you're dropping the amount of mistakes he's made, I would say in the 12 games you played, he's made at least one big error in every game. And he's been probably culpable for at least 4, 5, 6 goals that you've conceded in games. So yeah, he's number 1 on my list above all the attackers that we've mentioned and everything else. I'd go with VVD, but that's only because my expectations for him are so high because of the level that he's played at. I'd go for VVD.
I've got a few other names that could potentially get in the list. I want to say Basuma, very underwhelming, I would say.
Yeah.
Another one, Aubameyang. I'm sorry, I hate him. Anyways, long story short, I just think he's absolute. I was going to say the word. I'm not really allowed to swear on this show right now, am I? Anyways, long story. Again, maybe a Koulibaly. Or one of your defenders. I like Chalobah, but maybe a Koulibaly or even a Fofana, maybe. Like he came.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Fofana is a good shout because he basically got injured immediately. Like, he's not a flop 100%, but you were hoping that he was going to be the centre half for Chelsea week in, week out.
I've been a little bit like nicer to the Chelsea players because I feel like they've switched manager. So there's an element right now of barely any of these players are Graham Potter's players. He hasn't built a team yet. So I'm always a little bit more kind of, I'll give it, if you were performing the way you've been recently and Tuchel was still there, then I think I'd call him out a little bit more. But we'll see.
This is why Cucurella makes my list, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, you put 2 Chelsea players on your list, to be fair.
Sterling, I think, is being paid way too much money for what he's actually doing. I have to be honest with you. I think he's a good player, but in the end of the day, if he doesn't fit, why was he brought? I think it was an American signing, all based around numbers. But Cucurella, it came out when he was actually brought that apparently they asked him about Graham Potter. So if Cucurella in Graham Potter is meant to be this absolute match made in heaven, and Cucurella is still abysmal, how is he not a flop? No, I'll say that. It's honestly one of the worst signings I think I've seen. Hopefully it changes, but as of right now, I don't know what the hell we paid that money for.
I think you've been harsh on Cucurella there and Sterling, to be fair. I feel like the squad is so incomplete, that Chelsea squad, that they're going to ask to do roles that they're not the best at.
What's not complete about the Chelsea squad? Genuinely,
you haven't got a cover right wing back for this.
Yeah, fine. I'll take both wing backs. I'll take both wing backs.
You play centre backs there, and they're all. Aspie is getting old. You know what I mean? Thiago is getting old. Koulibaly is still adapted. Well, yeah, there. But you know what I mean? But like, there's still holes in this team where I feel like Sterling and Cucurella are filling those holes for them. So like, not just the defense, but like, just in all around the squad. So I feel like that's harsh. But yeah, I think you're being harsh on
the £300,000 a week to fill a hole is not what I want to be seeing at my club. To be honest with you,
but I think when your creativity in midfield gets fixed, I think the likes of Sterling will be putting that ball in the back of the net. This super chat here says, "Give Jesus the stick and and Darwin the pass," is what's been said there. Paul fans defend Núñez in the same way us Arsenal fans used to defend Pepe. Fair point. Jesus, 14 matches, 5 goals, 6 assists. having Odegaard, Saka, and Martinelli around him. Sterling, 16 matches, 5 goals, 2 assists, having a dead midfield attack and playing as wing backs is not bad as people pretend it is. I do think what helps though as well, and this is not a dig, this is the fact, when your fans are all happy, they big you up more.
Yes.
So right now, what I've noticed with Chelsea fans is whether they don't like Potter, and we're going to get onto you guys in a minute, or you do like him, it's kind of like a bit of a meek, lukewarm feeling about the club. So no one's riding out for players, no one's riding out for the manager. Where with Arsenal, even if like, I'm seeing people ride out for Lokonga because they're just it's such a feel-good factor. They're defending everybody. This super chat says, for me, it's Trent Lingard. Lingard's a great shout. Great shout that is there.
Or Henderson.
Henderson? Yeah, I hear you on that.
Man.
No,
Which one? Which one? Could be both.
You know what? I want to give a special shout out to Fabinho at the Liverpool squad. I know I put Liverpool top. Fabinho's been dire.
Stunk.
He has.
Fabinho looks like
an
an Uber driver. Fabinho looks like an Uber driver that goes and plays goals on a Saturday and wears shin pads in his socks at the moment. Like, do you know what I mean? Full kit W. Do you know what I mean? Like he's just he's been horrible considering we were a lot of people were rating him as one or not the second best DM in.
I rate him so highly, and I have to say that he is the reason why Van Dijk wasn't on my list is because his game has dropped dramatically.
Yeah,
and I think that when you had that fear factor of I think was it Matip, Van Dijk, and Fabinho,
that trio, that base, and that's fine.
That's immense. That's quality.
Yeah.
When that all disappeared, that's why I'm not putting Van Dijk.
It's almost as if it's a team sport, isn't it? Like, we see this all the time. I'm not going to do my normal joke.
I've got one last random one. You guys are probably going to think why. Solly March, that brother. I'm so sorry.
No, he's been good. He's been good. He's been good. KJ.
Not.
There's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason that KJ doesn't have a camera today, okay? Leave it at that.
No, he has not.
Solly March.
Solly March.
This super chat here says, Craigo, you're talking rubbish. Cucurella has played out of position and defended well. Sterling has played wing back and contributed even playing there. Is what Winter Surfer has got to say to you, Craigo. He says, you're talking rubbish, Craigo.
What game is he watching? I mean, I don't know. Like, people are saying he's playing out of position. What is his position? Is he a left back? Is he a left wing back? Is he a left centre half? I don't know. I haven't got a clue. I don't like him in any of them, to be honest with you.
I'm not being funny, but I swear, is he not the guy that Crayon Boy had a sub off against Man United?
Exactly. Thank you. Half an hour he lasted against Man United. I don't know what this defending thing, and also as well, the reason we signed him is because he's so good going forward, apparently.
It's mad because when he started, he looked good. Like the first couple games.
The first game, I think it was Everton away. Yeah, it looked decent. Yeah.
I was like, you got a player there, and it's just
like phased out a little bit.
Certainly has done. Viewers, make sure like buttons are getting smashed right now. If we hit 850 while we're live, we'll give away some free memberships for you. So get hitting that like button right now. Please make sure the QR code is being scanned for NordVPN as well, especially if you want to get much cheaper, much more efficient ways of streaming Premier League football, even the 3 o'clock games as well. Get it downloaded and then DM me and I can tell you how to set that up. But $2.99 a month I currently pay. It is amazing. Solly March is bad, and I'm a Brighton fan.
I just letting everyone know.
All right, Cage. Next talking point, and it's the big one this weekend, people. Chelsea host Arsenal. And my first question is going to be to Colleen, and it's, should Chelsea be scared of Arsenal?
Yes.
Why?
I think, I mean, you've just kind of set me up for this as well. You've kind of gone on a little bit of a monologue around Chelsea. And I just think, as an Arsenal fan, putting it into perspective of where we are and how well we've been playing, if I can't feel confident going to Stamford Bridge now for a win, at what point can I go to Stamford Bridge and feel, I think we're edging favourites? Considering the last season, the season before that, when we were out of form and still managed to pick some points up. So I'm talking about the history and context around it, where we've kind of found ourselves out of, like, which no one expected us to be. And I think we kind of want to ride this out for as much as possible. And I like Graham Potter. I'm not sure it's 100% clicking just yet. And that's understandable. I mean, the context, you know, how many games and all of his players and things like that. I just think as an Arsenal fan, if I can't be confident now, then when can I ever be confident?
When you're the underdog. Because that's normally when you do well against us, to be fair.
I honestly think this will be
This is the one where you're going to go and absolutely dominate us at Stamford Bridge.
No. I don't think it'll be a dominant performance. I don't
Okay.
think we played as well as how we started the season with. I think the last 4, 5, even 6 games, we've kind of just been getting over the line a little bit, which, you don't really care about if you're picking
It
up 3
smells,
points.
man.
To be honest with you.
No, Killeen, sorry, man. That smells. This team has got 0 wing backs, right? They barely got much going forward anyway.
I just said we're going to win.
I
just said we're gonna win.
They ain't. I'm not being funny. Chelsea, they haven't beat you at Stamford Bridge since about 2018. And you're talking about scraping results. What about them then?
No. I didn't say we'd scrape the Chelsea result. I'm talking about recently, the last 4 or 5 games, take away Nottingham Forest because they're awful. We haven't been playing the explosive football that we have been for our first 5 games, which is a fact. That's just true. Against Chelsea, though, I can see us conceding. I can see us scoring a lot, similar to how the Liverpool game went.
A lot? You think you'll score a lot?
I think we'll end up scoring. I think it'll be like a high-scoring game, like a 3-2.
Okay.
Personally, I think similar to how the Liverpool game went in terms of how Arsenal were. We played quite well, but we still somehow gave them a chance to get back into the game. We still gave them a chance, and I think that's where we still need a little bit of refining in the bigger games. That's why I say I don't think it'll be dominant in the sense 2-0, 3-0.
Okay, so who was the game that you've lost this season in the league?
United,
and it was away, was it not?
It was away.
So
I'm still confident.
No, I think you have every right to be confident. I have to be honest, but the question has to be from my point of view is we are massively depleted. There is absolutely no expectation on us to go and beat top of the league Arsenal, right? Do your players deal with that? Because that's essentially what happened when you went to Old Trafford. Is you were top of the league, you were dominant as anything, and then you did not turn up.
I think with Old Trafford, I think a lot of Arsenal fans as well will agree. I think a little bit of that is on Arteta. I don't think he set up correctly to go to Old Trafford. Whether, no matter what vein of form we're in, doesn't matter, or what United side we were playing at the time, what form they were in, we were still going to Old Trafford. There's still that history. The fans are all up for it. No, it's true.
No, because I had loads of grief from you, man.
No, I still thought we were going to win prior to the game. Once I saw the game and saw the way Arteta set up, and with the way we played Lokongos, we still haven't managed to get the best out of him. He was at fault, really, for all the goals we conceded in that game.
Every single one.
It all started from
William Saliba for one of those goals.
We're not going to talk about William Saliba. We're not going to talk about him. But I think it was a little bit more on the overall in-game management was on Arteta that game, personally. So I think if he learns from that, we have a great chance at Stamford Bridge. However, as we touched upon earlier, I think Arsenal was slowly getting rid of this bozo gene, but it's not really gone. I think we're still capable of causing our own downfall. So if I was a Chelsea fan, I'm thinking, where can I exploit Arsenal? I think, let Arsenal be Arsenal at times, where they might overcomplicate things, or with your Gabriels, or if you can get Xhaka a bit more defensively rather than further up front, if you can push him back, he'll make a mistake. So those are the areas. But I still think we're going to win, but I'm not saying that we're amazing. It's going to be 5-0, completely dominant, and no matter how depleted you are, I just don't think we will be.
So there's a potential scenario. Obviously, we don't know if it happens, but there is a potential scenario now that Azpilicueta seems to be injured and Chilwell's out. There's a chance that Chelsea play a back 4 of something along the lines of Chalobah at right back, Thiago Silva, Koulibaly, and Cucurella. Right. Now, if you then whack someone like Zakaria, I don't actually know how to say his name, in front of that back 4, and then put someone like Jorginho, Kovacic, an absolute workhorse in there as well. Do you think that Arsenal have got enough quality to break that down? Because I've seen Chelsea teams down the years. I remember one particular game away at Everton, a place we never played that well. We lost 1-0. They had 4 centre halves across the back 4, and we could not break them down.
I think that's a great question.
Is, with the way that Arsenal play, do you think they have enough quality and enough experience to break down that absolutely massive unit? Because you haven't necessarily done it yet.
Well, you've literally took the words out of my mouth, because at home, I think it was against, I can't remember who it was against. A couple of times we've kind of faced like a low block, a back 2 banks of 4. And what Arsenal have done is managed to pin back each member of that back 4 and create an overload on the side, so there's a free man in. So that's what we've kind of done, but that's been at home.
Yeah.
Away from home, I'm a little bit skeptical as to whether we're going to rise to the occasion and keep that pressure, because that overload and the way we pin back the back 4 only works with sustained periods of pressure. It's not going to work outside of that. So I'm as skeptical as you are. I don't know. is my answer. However, with the lineup you just lined up on paper, I'm licking my lips a little bit at the back four.
So what? Which particular bit?
I mean, I haven't rated Cucurella currently at Chelsea. Chalobah, I'm not really on the train. I'll be honest with you. I think he has a potential for a bit of lapse in judgment. So personally,
the reason I asked the question is, you say you've broken down teams potentially before. You haven't
more at home though, as I said, more at home.
And
so it's different.
Lesser opposition.
Yes.
Is Chalobah? To be fair, there was a stupid stat I read the other day on Chelsea Twitter that I think Chelsea have only lost one game now. I think it was the Brighton game at the other weekend, where Chalobah has started. So, I mean, you're thinking about the win percentage of when he is in. Obviously, that's a very standalone stat by itself. But you've broken down teams that play that back four, that play deep, but they haven't got Chalobah, who is arguably the weakest of that back four, would be better than a lot of teams' whole back four together. Do you know what I mean? So it's the question is you've broken
will we rise
down
to the
before,
occasion?
but will you do it against
So what do you expect?
Let me reverse that question on you. Do you believe this Arsenal team is good enough to break down Chelsea and beat you?
Yes, I do. It's just a case of how they do it. They are definitely capable of doing it. Technically, they've got all the players they need to do it. But will they do it is a different matter. This is where the mentality thing comes in. I personally, I think this Arsenal team is very good. I have to say, and I'll hold my hands up and say that. But you're in the Europa League and you're on a good run. Fair enough. You're playing what's in front of you. You can't do anything about that. As we said earlier, you're playing what's in front of you. But when you've gone up against those big teams, and that's why kind of going back to that Man United game, you didn't necessarily rise to the occasion. If you're doing it continuously, and you've already won the group, so you mean it was comfortable in midweek anyway. But realistically, if you've got to do that over a sustained period of time, I think that's what's starting to creep into the kind of Arsenal mentality a little bit at the moment, is because when it was all going in their favour and they were playing against rubbish teams in the Europa League and then playing and focusing purely pretty much on the Premier League, different matter. You've also got, I don't know who did you draw in the League Cup, which is the week?
Brighton.
Brighton, okay. So another Premier League side, then you would have to still think about.
You've got Man City, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, we've got City. I know that. Yeah, we're out. But yeah, I always hate that because the final's on my birthday every year. Now I'm not going to be able to enjoy it. But
we didn't enjoy it last year, did you?
No, I didn't. I haven't enjoyed it for the last 3 years. It's been awful. But yeah, no, the reason I asked the question is because, again, that big team playing those European competitions followed by a big game. Well, you were at home, weren't you, in midweek?
Yes, we were at home.
So have it been away, do you think the potential of the whole travel involved, and again, it's a crap team down the bottom of your group anyway. Was it Zurich?
Yes.
Didn't really know they had a team, to be honest with you. But that's the reason I asked the question, is just because, are you going to do it continuously? Because that's the thing I really want to say about Arsenal, is it's not about doing it in the league, it's about doing it in all
fronts. I mean, I think every Arsenal fan's the same. The proof's in the pudding. Until we see it, we don't know. And I think there's a lot that's been made as well. I think we have a really strong first 11, 12, pushing 13 players. Beyond that, it gets really paper thin. So
I'll throw this at you as a potential scenario. And I really like Gabriel Jesus. I'm not about this on the old flops and whatever. I think he's a really good player. But what about if you go behind? If you go behind, if you say you go 2-0 down or 1-0 down or whatever, who's going to be the person you bring off the bench and it changes everything? Who's going to be that next man up? Because I don't think Arsenal have got it. And that's why I have a little bit of confidence in this, because on paper, we should not be winning. But this is an opportunity. If Chelsea take the lead, we could really dominate this game.
I think that's your route to win. I think you just explained your route to winning the game. I think that's
take the lead, basically.
Take the lead and then hope for the best, essentially, because you're right, off the bench it's very light, especially with ESR out, who's probably the 12th player I was kind of alluding to. Vieira's not really adapted to the physicality of the league just yet. He's kind of looked a little bit better in Europe or against Brentford. Apart from that, he's not really risen to the occasion. So you're right, it's all about, that's why I say a lot of it is on Arteta to a degree, because he's got to get creative with the team he does have, that first 11, 12 players. And if it's not going his way, he's got to change things with the current players on the pitch and try and get them to use their own creativity or try and tweak things tactically. So I think you're right.
Managerial battle, do you think, and genuine question is, do you think that Arteta is better than Graham Potter? Because the reason I asked this question is against Man United, Potter completely identified that something was not going right, and just like that changed it, and Chelsea were a lot better after the half-hour mark. And I haven't ever actually really seen Arteta do that.
I think I would give Graham Potter the edge, but that doesn't mean I'm unhappy with Arteta or anything like that at all. I just think with Arteta, I think a lot of Arsenal fans will agree that, especially in games, I don't think any of us have ever been really happy in terms of he's still quite naive. That's why I alluded to the Man United game. We all knew just after we'd scored, he made 3 subs at once, and it completely ruined us in terms of the balance of play. And then that's why I refer to Lokonga, because it was all on Arteta. And we've seen that a few times in the league. So, and that's, again, it's not to say Arteta's a bad manager, not up and coming. He's won a trophy with us, but naive.
That's an interesting question that you posed there, though. Like, I'm gonna look at the rivals here. We've heard from the Arsenal and Chelsea contingent. Right now, you've got a managerial opening, and you've got 2 candidates.
Mick Arteta.
You'd pick Arteta over Potter.
100%.
No.
Why?
I think he's someone that I've seen transform a team from being really kind of down in the dumps, and now it looks like they're currently challenging for a title. I haven't seen that from Potter, and although, look, Potter's done amazing in terms of what he did with Brighton, what he's done abroad as well, and they're I don't know, I would want to say they're quite level. Potter just reminds me of Brendan Rodgers. That when Liverpool signed Brendan Rodgers was the guy. He was, Swansea. He's do you know what I mean? Joe Allen, the Welsh Pirlo.
Flavour of the month.
Do you know what I mean? But it was like, he's this technical genius. He's this British manager. That's amazing. He got to the big job, and if he didn't have Suarez, that title challenge would have never happened. And then you saw kind of how it ended with Rodgers. And look, he's a decent manager, but I've seen Arteta. Look, to go to Arsenal was a tough job for your first managerial opening. And to see how well he's coped with that, I go and put that ahead of what Potter's done currently. But that's not to say Potter can't go to Chelsea and change
a lot
stuff
of
around.
Money though, Arteta.
Yeah.
No, he
spent it well, to give credit where it's due. But
that's what it is. But I've also got to remember that the money that they're spending, they're not a City where they could just go and get anyone.
Of course, yeah,
and on top of that, what pool does Mikel Arteta have? So the project and the way he's had to go and coach these players is at a different level to what a manager at Chelsea would do because of the bank, because of the money.
And I think what's interesting with it, I rate Graham Potter, I really do, but you never know how. You know, like we see players and you go, he could kill it for people would say a player from the past. People would say Matt Letizia could have played for any of the top teams, but we'll never know because we don't know how he would handle the pressure of playing for those teams. And I always remember Dimitar Berbatov talk about how when he was at Tottenham, he was a Bayer Leverkusen Champions League finalist, goes to Tottenham, big Premier League team. He thought he understood pressure, and then he said then he went to Man United, and it was just the difference in feeling around the football club was palpable. So you never know until someone's there, and you've now got Graham Potter at a big club. But Kaj, you said no, you'd pick Potter.
Yeah, all day long. Not just because he's sitting next to me. Like you got your red side, you got the blue side, even though I'm wearing red and white. But it's just nah, Potter all day long. If you told me, right, who'd you rather have with the funds, Potter or Arteta to build a squad in 3 seasons, 2 seasons and a bit, I'm picking Potter. Why would you pick Potter? I just like the way he can control the whole game, for one. Like what he's done with Brian, I think it's evident. I actually quite like Arteta. I do rate him, to be fair. But I just feel like when it comes to in-game management a little bit, I think he's got that edge. I think man management, I think they might be on equal terms, but you got to rate Arteta's man management. I think all the players love him.
Aubameyang didn't.
Well, yeah, not everyone's going to be your favorite team.
But that's the point. But that's the point.
Yeah.
When the way he dealt with that Aubameyang situation, the way he's gone and dealt with, for example, Xhaka coming back into the team. Do you know what I mean? And keeping him about and getting them on side.
Yeah.
On Aubameyang, it's a great segue. On Aubameyang, does that video that went out on BT Sport?
He's an idiot.
I haven't seen it.
I mean, there's nothing much to see. He basically says it's nothing personal, but now I'm a blue. Let's do this. But you think he's an idiot for doing it, Colin?
I just think he's got a bloody Arsenal tattoo on his arm, And things didn't end well with. I literally don't really care that much around Aubameyang, but I don't really like the discourse around it. It's just like use your brain for like 2 seconds because the fans love him. Like a lot of Arsenal fans don't really care that he's gone to Chelsea. I think he's still relatively liked within the fan base.
I think Arsenal fans are being so sensitive about this advert because it's not Aubameyang going to BT saying, "Can I do this?"
Yeah.
They want to sell. They want to sell
the game. They want to sell the game.
No, but it's not that in isolation, though. It's not that in isolation. It's the context around Arsenal and Aubameyang. If it was just this, then it's a different story. It's the way he left. It's the video that came out afterwards that resurfaced only a couple of weeks ago. I think it leaves. For me, I don't care. But for the wider fan base, I think it leaves.
I love it.
You clearly do. You clearly do.
I don't care. I do not care about Aubameyang.
You do care.
I'm not gonna get wound up by you.
You said Aubameyang's name about 7-8 times. You do care.
No, asked me my opinion on it. That's it. And I think Arteta will use it. So similar to how you saw in the Amazon doc, the way we were using the Tony tweets and things like that. I think this will be the same kind of thing. But I think it's up to Aubameyang to talk on the pitch, really.
But would you not say that the whole Aubameyang situation is only a problem because he's come back to the Premier League? Because he didn't know he was going to go and come back to Chelsea. That's just an opportunity that kind of arose.
Yeah, I mean,
now,
well,
him
of course,
going
if he's
doing
going
the kind
to
of the video, do you know what I mean, same for Chelsea. Like, even if you wanted to go and do that, you want to go and sell the biggest narrative in the game, and the narrative obviously is
I agree with you.
To Chelsea. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. But as a fan base, the whole context around it, that's what's riling everyone up in terms of the wider context of how everything's unfolded. And he's at Chelsea, but. As a
Chelsea fan, though, Craig, do you feel like it's the right thing for him to have done?
I don't care. I mean, he's been told to do it by BT Sport. I mean, I don't know if you saw it the week before, but I think it was Leicester versus Man City, and the Leicester centre half said, "Oh yeah, I'll keep clean sheets for fun." Okay, I mean, you come up against Man City, it means absolutely nothing. You know, when you go, I mean, we've all done work with green screens and all this stuff anyway, but. When it comes to doing videos, we all know, because again, we're all content creators. Something gets clipped up, something gets used in a particular way. You don't know how it's going to be used. That's all down. Down to whoever it is that wants to.
And I get that. And do you know what's interesting? He does say is nothing personal. He just says it's business. And this is one thing I would say to Arsenal fans: if you are upset about it, football clubs are less loyal than players, because we all get annoyed when players we loved or players that we still rate leave if they end up joining rivals in the future. But why do I not see fans outrage when their club gets rid of an average academy player that's been at the club since he was 10 years old? Why don't people, there was no outrage by Arsenal fans when Nicholas Bentner was sold. There was no outrage by Chelsea fans. I'm trying to think of an average player when Lukaku went. Well, there was a few, but like football clubs rightfully are not loyal to players unless they need them. I've said it for years. Players have no reason to be loyal to football clubs because they have a very short career in this. We will all support our football clubs into the day we pass away. Footballers have 10, maybe 15 years at the highest level, and they've got to do what they've got to go and do. Instead of advertising the game, I want to see more of this in football. The reason I'm a big fight fan. Love boxing, love MMA, and sometimes fighters can go a little bit too far. Sometimes light fighters can go a little bit too far. However, that's because they're fighters, and I don't think, unless someone's ever done a fight camp and you've actually been a fighter, you see people in the public go, "It's outrageous that fighter said he was going to kill the guy." I'm like, you've never been a fighter. And you've never trained for a fight.
It's not a sport. You can't. It's a sport, but you can't really call it a sport. So it's a different.
Yeah, you can't play fighting. And even people that go to a boxing gym or do a bit of karate in the local community center, you're not fighters. You're not actually going in the ring where it's legal for someone to kill you. Like, you get a shin bone in the head, you could die. Right? These things happen. So these guys are and women are on absolute edge. But I love the bravado, and I love the kind of way they get you. Oh, I can't wait to see him go. Someone insults someone's dad or speaks about their wife, or we've seen some real bad insults happen. And for me, it's like, now I want to see this fight even more. I don't even know if I want to see you win or get knocked out, but I'm watching it. And what Aubameyang's done, and seeing the Arsenal fans get riled up by it, for me as a neutral watching, I'm like, it adds an extra storyline. If Aubameyang scores, if Aubameyang flops, it's like, yes, this is what we need. We need far more of this. And I think football does it in a very light way. And I think we need more.
Yeah,
I think we need more
that's
access.
Mm.
And it will make these games even bigger. I love it. I think
That's
it's great.
Go on.
Yeah, there's too much media training. There's too much being bland and corporate in the Premier League, especially as well. We need stuff like this more, like you say, to bring it up a bit and let the players show some character as well.
And
Yeah,
it's funny, really,
100%.
because I called out Jack Grealish and talked about him. He should have got banned. Should have got in trouble by the club and got in trouble for what he said about Almiron. And then I got called up. My brother rang me when I just saw what you said. My family do watch me. They're just not on socials. My family are literally all off the grid. If one of my brothers got Facebook, that's it. And they were like, well, they use it, but they don't talk on it and post their pictures and their lives. Talk about when they're out of a row with their missus and whatever else. Very strange behavior from some people. But anyway, and he's like, what do you mean? And he literally turned around and was like, but you love that in boxing. Why not in football? And I had a moment where I was like, yeah, but yeah, you got me. I was like, yeah, you got me. And I'm like, so I've kind of changed my stance on it. And I want to see more. I'm now like, actually, let's do a bit more of it, more calling of each other out. Mo Salah, when he turned around and basically said that Man United make it easy for him. And then backtrack, no, I meant my midfielders made it easy. You were like, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
And it was actually, as much as it hurt me to see Mo Salah say it as a United fan, as a football fan, it was great. There's some needle. That 2-year, 3-year rivalry between Klopp and Pep, it wasn't a rivalry. That was like two brothers sharing their missus. You know what I mean? It wasn't. It was too meek. It was too nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just weird. I don't know what that analogy was either. But anyway, like it's just one of them things. It was just I don't even know what it was like. That's the point. I can't even think of an example. It was just meh. Like too nice. Oh no, you have it today. Oh no, you have it tomorrow. Oh, you have it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great that we're sharing this. That's what it was like.
I think what would,
horrible.
I think what would help that is if after games you had just kind of an instant kind of reaction from the players like you have in the NBA. Like
Yeah.
Todd
I was
Bowley,
gonna say the
obviously,
NBA,
I mean, he's probably like he's already set his sights out, that type of stuff. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you have that instantly, like after a loss or after a victory, you're going to get a different type of reaction than when the person's gone into the change room,
Had time to calm down.
taken off,
Yeah.
calm down, had a drink of water, and then come out to go and speak. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's where you probably get that kind of rivalry and that kind of
the
intense interaction
NFL
between players and managers.
Yeah, but it's good though. It brings better out players as well. That's the thing. You get a better performance. Almiron's performing now. He took that. He clearly
He took it personally.
And look what we're seeing world class goals. They're not just little tap-ins. They're screamers like top bins. What I need though on Sunday, I'm not kidding. I need an Adebayor slide when Aubameyang scores at the Arsenal fans in their way in. I swear, I'm
front
not joking.
flip would be amazing.
That would be amazing. No,
do
I
you
need a knee
really
slide. I
believe?
need
Do you
the knee
really
slide.
Do you really believe that Aubameyang or any of your attackers are gonna do a job on Sunday?
Well, you just said that you're only going to win 3-2, so clearly.
No, I'm not. This is me. No. Yeah, I'm not having this. That's my opinion. I'm asking the Chelsea fan over here
Is
who's
that
been
what
quiet.
you're going to do now?
Yes.
Deflect it because you can't.
No, that was my opinion as a non-Chelsea fan with the history of Arsenal and Chelsea. I'm asking a Chelsea fan who's, when you've been speaking today so far, it's not been overly positive.
No.
That's why I'm asking the question. Do you truly believe that you guys are going to score a few goals at least, or Aubameyang in particular?
I believe that our squad has got a goal in it.
Just a single goal.
Craig's scared. Craig's scared.
I believe that we've got a goal.
Craig is scared. I want to ask a question though, away from the game, because then we're going to do score predictions. If you beat Chelsea, Colleen, I know you believe.
I was going to say, you know exactly what my opinion is.
I know you believe it. But this is a question to you, the panel, and of course you wonderful, brilliant people at home, the Terrace community, best in the world. Make sure like buttons are being smashed. The question is though, if Arsenal beat Chelsea, will they finally admit that they are in a title race?
I don't think, from an Arsenal perspective, I don't think the fan base will until post end of Jan.
What do you mean? They're already doing it anyways. Like,
No, I think
shout
I've-
out Kunle, one touch, Jerry, you know him very well. Guna Souls, I big up all of them, man. There, yeah, you're all dickheads, anyways. But other than that, they all think they're in the title race right now. And to be fair,
well, we are. We are in a title race.
You are. It's like, I don't think Terry's like they think they're going to be in an actual title race.
No,
They're actually
no. I think there's two different questions. There's two different questions.
I actually prefer them saying they're in the title race than being in this kind of just like, I don't know, just this kind of like paradox. Where
I think
no, we're not. We're just taking every game as it comes.
It's two.
We'll see where
It's two
fans,
different. It's two different questions.
jealous,
It's two
innit?
different questions.
That was our sport.
It's two. It's two different
sport.
questions.
I was sport on my sport.
no, that's your spot. But they kind of are right now. You wish you was there again, innit?
Yeah, I wish, but next season, as I said, we're on loan. We're on loan. In 8.
On loan to 8.
No, but we have to just understand
Is it like,
what it's like.
is it
these
like
proper players don't understand what like a dogfight is like.
No, I get that. Like, remember that show, The Undercover Boss, where he'd be a millionaire, then would live like he was poor for a couple of weeks. That's Liverpool. That's what they're doing. They're out here.
Undercover Arsenal.
But I hear, listen, I don't have a dog in this fight in the sense of I don't care whether Arsenal fans want to admit they're in a title race or not on a personal level, but you are. And I don't believe that the title races don't begin in April. They begin now because this is the foundation of it's like anything. It's not a sprint, right? We know this. It's a long distance thing. If you start off badly and in a long distance race, we've all done cross country at school or done like 5,000 meters or whatever. If you start badly, if your middle's bad or your ending's bad, you don't win the race. Yep. You generally need to be good in all 3 stages. And Arsenal's foundation is so good. I think only 4 teams in the history of the Premier League have had better starts after 12 games.
I think it's because of the conflation between actually going to win the league and saying that we're going to win the league and being in a title race. Arsenal have been in a title race, whether anyone likes it or not, just because of the position they're in. Whether you believe they're going to last the course of it, whether you believe they're going to win it or not, they're the team who's been top for most of the season so far. So, ergo, they are in a title race. That's just a fact.
Do you think there's a fear from the Arsenal fans that it could be another one of those seasons where you don't get it, and because of that,
you're right.
You guys aren't actually enjoying the moment.
You're absolutely right. It's too. Firstly, like if I go to I think one thing that should be banned in all concerts is people filming it on their phones.
Yeah.
How can you enjoy what's going on if you're filming it on your phone or in focus? Enjoy the moment and live in it. And I'm saying that to Gooners. Yeah, we ask you questions. What do you think and feel? You getting clipped up saying. You being clipped up and saying, yeah, I think we could win the league, or yes, I think we're in a title race, and then you're not winning it. Enjoy it. Like, imagine you get to the end of the year and you just miss out, or you get to the end of the year and you do win it. And you're someone that, I know some people don't care about social media, but if you're actively involved in it, you have to give opinions. You're here for a reason, right? We're all on social media because we enjoy the banter, the interactions, the punditry, what's going on. Imagine being involved in it, but not really immersing yourself in it. So the reason I give the concert example is I feel like when you're at a concert or a comedy show and you're trying to film it and, is this working okay? I'm going to selfie with it and I'm going to do all this nonsense. You're not in the moment. I've watched people on nights out in the last couple of years when I've gone out, spend hours trying to get the best picture of their night out and not actually having a good night out. And that's what I feel like some Arsenal fans are doing. I've got to really work hard mentally to make sure I project myself as the best Arsenal fan. I put not too much pressure on the players. I don't act like I'm not happy with what we're doing, but I don't want to get too carried away in case somebody laughs at me in a few months' time. I'm like, bruv, just enjoy how good your team is. State the fact that you are in a title race. And if you don't win it, you don't win it. The expectation at the beginning of the season was you were not going to make top 4 from most rival fans. You're in a title race now. You've already beaten everybody else. If you don't win it from this point, so what? Maybe if you fall off and it's an awful ending, there's a bit of an inquest to answer. But that's just natural. It's really annoying seeing people talk about they're the best team in England, but not in a title race. It doesn't make sense.
And let's be honest, Arsenal fans don't know when they're going to be in this situation again. So just enjoy it. Like, just
listen. I said at the beginning of the season here. I said it here several times. I've already said we're going to win the league because F it. Who cares? I don't care. I've already saved you guys the spots in N5. I've said it multiple times.
In fairness, I feel like an honorary Gooner this year. I do feel a little bit like it. I feel like I'm part of I feel like I've been accepted. Do you get what I mean? Not like Mowgli was part of the wolf pack. Do you know what I mean? You weren't a wolf. I feel a bit like Mowgli out here. Do you know what I mean? I mean with the Gooners. But there we go. We've got some super chats we're going to go through before score predictions. There's many of them. This here says, I'm sad. Drake curse coming for Arsenal. Did Drake put an Arsenal shirt on?
Yeah, he did. Not a while ago, though.
21 Savage also on the album actually mentioned Arsenal.
Is 21 Savage the grass?
No. That's Tekashi 69.
Oh, cool. There we go. I knew it was a number.
21's actually British, but no one knew he was British.
I don't know. It's not my genre. Did he do any songs with Michael Bublé? No. I don't know who he is. There we go. What do you guys think Arsenal are? Sorry. What are your guys think if If Arsenal were, designed
Sign.
to sign João Felix on loan with an option to buy in January, I think everyone would say it'd be a great signing because João Felix
Everyone
needs to be
would want João
freed.
Felix.
He needs to be freed right
wouldn't?
now. I nearly made a very bad joke then. I'm glad I didn't. We'll come back to your one in a minute, Chike. It's a bit of a more broader question. KJ fake fan. Villa last won at Villa Park versus Man United in 1995. He ain't a fake fan. He's from Villa. He's from Aston Villa.
He's
literally part he's from is where Villa's ground is. He is a Brume. He's from Birmingham. He likes to eat curry.
I did not speak like that. Anyway, in relation to that,
He changes his accent.
bruv, I said we did lose to Villa. That's because there was no specific like home or away basis to that question when I answered it. So I'm not fake.
All right, Gal, chill out, bruv. Eddie and Martinelli to score for the culture.
That's what Eddie's good for, really. Turn up at Stamford Bridge.
Eddie, Cedric, Holding packed them up 6 months ago. They did. They did. This is dedicated to the Arsenal fan, beauty and brains. What a joy to watch. Well, so I'm not an Arsenal fan, but thank you so much.
Contrary to
for
popular
your
belief.
wonderful comments. But move the camera over to Colleen.
45 quid. That's what we're talking about here. I think we need to continue up in the bidding. Well, I know Kaz disagrees.
Hang on a minute.
I know
What are they bidding for?
We'll just see. Let's see how far we can go.
There we go.
Then we can
Thank you,
Let's see.
JJ Ash. Arsenal have been able to score from distance this season. This Chelsea team has mistakes written all over them. Stop referring to the United game, is what's been said there. Great
Because I know
point.
it's true.
Arsenal has an amazing away record this season. Most away points of all. Only City is close. I think will smash Chelsea.
Ooh.
Smashing Chelsea, Craigo.
No.
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 You do not sound convinced. Are you going to get smashed? No.
No.
No. Next
No.
week, Craigo's voice breaks. We'll be back for it. This here says, Obama Blood Cla Yang shall have his revenge.
What revenge?
Revenge.
There's no revenge.
Teta to show the BT Sports advert as motivation.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said.
I bet he
That's
does
exactly
it.
what I said.
I'd rate it, to be fair, as well. I'd rate it.
He 100% would.
Guys,
What's that
potato.
But who's going to score for Chelsea?
Aubameyang.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, it's written on the
I
stars.
would lose my
To
mind.
be fair, I mean, the Sterling going midweek. I mean, if we do get into those
I
tight
rate
chances, he
Sterling.
did well.
Oh,
Yeah, he did do well.
I rate Sterling for you guys. I think Chelsea fans are a little bit harsher on him than maybe neutral fans.
But Sterling's never going to carry an attack. Let's face it, he's never carried an attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
England to an extent, you could say maybe if Kane squared that.
True.
I still can't go when Kane squared that.
Alex here says, if Arsenal lose, does it say more about Arsenal or Chelsea?
I think depend.
I would say more about Chelsea. I think that even the fact that we can turn up at all these random games where we haven't got a full squad says a lot about us rather than against Arsenal. I have to be honest.
Fair enough.
Is Aubameyang the X factor since he's played under Arteta? Is Aubameyang?
Has he got the X factor back? Does he mean?
Maybe.
I don't know what that
I
means.
don't quite get the. I mean,
I
get it.
think the question is essentially asking: is Aubameyang the reason that Chelsea are going to win this game? Because
He's the
right.
X factor. Okay.
Maybe he could be. I mean, it's.
No.
I think he's going to be a huge part of the story on Sunday. Good, bad, or indifferent, he's going to be a big part.
I don't think he starts.
This super chat.
I don't think he
This super chat says y'all want Arsenal fans to forget the years of being called bottle jobs to all of a sudden have chest. Shameless. Well, I don't think Tavin. I don't think it's about like they should have chest at this point because they are legitimately good. This is not a fluke. You don't win this many points, win this many games, look this good by chance. This isn't. I remember when I was younger. It must have been when I was at primary school, and I remember Wimbledon, proper Wimbledon, not MK Dons, proper Wimbledon, being top after 3 or 4 games. That's like a flash in the pan. Brighton were in the top 4. We all knew whatever happens, they were going to level out and simmer down. This Arsenal team is in for the long haul. He goes on to say, we are just watching things unfold. Years of getting abuse, looking amazing, Colleen. Big ups to the man then. Thank you very much, Tav, in there, my friend. Listen, I get why you're in reserve, but let me ask you a question back, Tav. How many games in or at what point in the league do you have to be top or second or so by a point to go, we're in this? I'd love to know, just from your perspective, my friend. I'd love to know, brother. Thank you. Chris P here says, if we beat Chelsea 1-0, Jesus scores a penalty conceded by Chalobah, Aubameyang misses a sitter, and then Colleen have to Zoom date, I cut my farts.
Like I said at the beginning, it's up to tell in terms of how high we can get this bid in. Unfortunately, he hasn't reached the threshold.
Right, hang on a minute. You're making me sound a little bit like Andrew Tate here. I do not control what's going on.
Yeah.
There we go. Got a respect for Aubameyang now. Just wanted Champions League football is what Dan at Tottenham fans got to say here.
Boo.
Not upset. I think Aubameyang will be left with egg on his face, firing blanks. That joker. Wish Arsenal would fire some shots back.
We will
is what
on Sunday.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry, I've already put that one up on the screen. Thank you very much, bro. This super chat here says, thank you very much, Warren. Says, I think the reason a lot of us Arsenal fans aren't giving too much chest about the title charge is PTSD from years of hurt. Yes, we look different now and better, but memory of failure is still fresh. I think that's fair, Warren, which is probably why I asked the question, what will it take and when will you stop feeling like that? But I think it's a really fair point there, Warren. Top man. This super chat here says, I'm an Arsenal fan through and through from India. Local Britishers calling us out to tell us they should support our local team and that our views are not welcome is distasteful and derogatory. Listen, my bro, your views are always welcome here at the Football Terrace. Forget about top Reds, top Blues, top Maroons or Claret and Blues, whatever clubs you support when you're watching. Your opinion is very valid. And if it wasn't for the international fan bases and the millions around the world that tune in to watch the Premier League, it wouldn't be as big, powerful, or as rich. So these billionaire owners that now own these football clubs that keep them at the top, that have made them amazing. The money, for instance, as a United fan, that our international fan base, our national fan base outside of Manchester generates for this football club is the reason Man United are as big as they are. So for these local fans to disrespect that is crazy. Like, you're literally... If every international fan stopped supporting Arsenal, stopped supporting Man United, if every non-local stopped supporting, there'd literally be Burnley in 10 years. There'd be Burnley in 10 years because the reason Burnley are Burnley and Man United are Man United is the international global fan base. Same for Arsenal, same for Liverpool, same for Chelsea. One day, City. One day. I'd say around 25 games, Terry. Then my chest will be like Mr. Universe after chess press. I like that. Yeah. Let's do some more of these super chats here before score predictions. You guys are so generous and amazing. Thank you. Arteta will get the light bulb out again.
Listen, he can get whatever he wants out if he can get us a result at No.
Family show.
It is past the watershed here in the UK. I'm not sure about the rest of the world.
I'm done. I'm done.
Hello,
I'm done. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Colleen just said, in case you missed it, that Arteta can get out whatever he wants if he beats Chelsea this weekend.
I mean,
Arteta, that's the invitation. It's an invitation, Arteta, my old mate. Martinelli versus Aspi and Bakayoko versus... Bukayo. Sorry, not Bakayoko. Sorry. Bakayoko is back. He's in the midfield. Bukayo versus Kukureya, looking peak still, is what my guy's got to say. If that Gabonese Robert Earnshaw scores on Sunday, my guy, original base Annie, hope he will. Best cake maker in the world right there, people. If you want a good cake, hit my guy up. And we are breaking the Stamford Bridge. Is that curse they're meant to be? I think you broke it last year, didn't you?
You've broken it for like the last 3 years. We crazy. Turn up against you. Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah. There we go. Score predictions, people. We want to get your score predictions in below right now. Make sure like buttons are still being smashed. Are we near the 850 mark here? Well, where are we at? 850, and I'm going to give out 100 free memberships to you all. So get smashing that like button for us right about now, people. We're at 300 away, so get that. We should be able to do that in seconds. I'm going to go to Craigo and Kaz first. 2-1 Chelsea, 3-2 Chelsea.
This is Kaz, just being a hater. You're being a hater. Stop it.
I actually need Arsenal to beat Chelsea technically, but I wish for a draw. But I'd rather Arsenal win. But I just think Chelsea's gonna win because I just don't like Arsenal.
Fair enough.
Pure agenda. We love it.
Yeah.
And yourselves?
3-1 Arsenal, of course.
1-1.
1-1.
Oh, equaliser. Oh, okay. I like that.
Decent. Mine will be revealed tomorrow on my personal preview on the Football Terrace. So make sure you're
Bottle
tuning
job.
in. I'm not a bottle job.
Ooh, yes.
Mate, I'm a content creator. If I reveal it now, I'm doing a gym from American Pie. Not too soon, gents. Not too soon.
I'll
Hold
tell
that.
you
Mine's
guys-
out tomorrow, so keep your eyes out for that with my brand new thumbnails, which I'm loving, by the way, at the minute. So that's out Boo Terry. Now, out tomorrow. You know you're all going to be tuning in. I want to also say, by the way, over the last 6 weeks, 6.2 million views on the Football Terrace, record-breaking period for us, 22,000 new subscribers as well. And, you know, we're not like a lot of channels, you know, one stream a day or one bit of content a day, 3 or 4 a week. We do make on average between 3 to 4 bits of content per day. So the growth and the continual support you give us is absolutely amazing. So thank you very, very much indeed for doing that for us. It means a great deal. And a lot of hard work goes in from KJ and Javern, the team here at Snack and myself, and of course the panelists that turn up and work so brilliantly for us. And you know, we're trying to go to that next level, and we will get there. So I just want to say a big thank you to all of you. Cheers for coming on the show tonight, JJ, Colleen, Craigo, and the Kaz. Man, like, I need to say Javern then, but it's KJ over there on the technicals tonight, keeping this rolling, keeping it working. And to you, the viewers, as I always say, you are the heartbeat, the life, the soul, and the community of the Football Terrace. So a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. Please make sure you're protecting your data, protecting yourself online by signing up to NordVPN now. Brilliant offers, 4 months free on a 2-year plan. Plus, you can get up to 30-day money-back guarantee to try out and use it. Great things to protect yourself with, but lots of money-saving techniques on there as well, from buying things on Amazon cheaply. I saved £20 on each of these microphones, which was amazing. Cheaper ways of streaming. And the real good one for me, I'm going to Manchester very soon for the Football Content Awards. I got my hotel £100 for the night cheaper than the standard price by changing my VPN to say I was in Turkey. So thank you to the Turkish public. I don't know why I'm thanking you personally, but £100 off. And hotels are mad expensive right now. That was £100 off. So thank you very much to NordVPN for making that possible. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Thank you.